Phoenix Nights. Chapter 1535. Gu Fei and He Tian arrived at the Yi clan's ancient city to pay a visit to Heaven Batian Shen King. Shen King invited them into the city lord's mansion. Just as Gu Fei and Sky Tyrant Divine Emperor were about to get to the main topic, a white-clothed lady with overwhelming spiritual energy walked out from behind the screen in the hall. "Greetings, old ancestor!" The white-robed woman had a graceful figure. She bowed to Heaven Batian Shen King. Her voice was clear and melodious, lifting the spirits of those who heard it. There seemed to be some kind of magical power in her voice. This is... The moment He Tian saw this woman, he became spirited. He fanned himself with a folding fan, pretending to be a gentleman. However, there was a trace of evil on his face. "Why did you come out?" Heaven Batian Shen King was surprised to see this woman. His tone was displeased. One had to know that he valued Gu Fei very much and was very grateful to Gu Fei. He didn't want any juniors to come out and provoke Gu Fei. This junior was proud and arrogant, never putting the geniuses of the wildlands in his eyes. It would be bad if he offended them with words. "Honored guests, how could Yiwu not come out to greet you?" The white-clothed lady's face was covered by a white silk scarf, so her appearance couldn't be seen at all. However, Gu Fei and He Tian both had divine eyes, so they could see through all illusions and point straight to the source. However, when Gu Fei and He Tian tried to see the woman's face, they were shocked. There seemed to be a layer of mist covering her face, preventing them from seeing through it. "How is this possible?" Gu Fei and He Tian were both a little surprised. One had to know that Gu Fei had cultivated the martial Tao Heavenly Eye, and He Tian had cultivated the Yin-Yang Divine Eye. But even after cultivating these two mystic arts, they still couldn't see through this woman's face. This was quite shocking. However, although Gu Fei and He Tian were shocked, they did not show it on their faces. "Yiwu, you're the pearl of the Yi family." Gu Fei and He Tian couldn't help but take a second look at the woman in white. It was said that she was the pearl of the Yi family, and had a natural affinity with the Great Path. It seemed that her reputation was well-deserved. This woman had an ethereal aura that faintly resonated with the Great Path of heaven and earth. Her spiritual qi was oppressive, and she could indeed be called a born Taoism aptitude. "So it's Miss Yi. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you." He Tian stood up from his seat and smiled at Yiwu. However, there was a hint of a mischievous smile on his face. "And this is—" As Yiwu spoke, she glanced at Gu Fei from the corner of her eyes. When she saw that Gu Fei didn't show any unusual expression, she couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. The human martial Tao was extremely tyrannical. In the ancient city of the Yi family, the most talked-about person in the Yi family was Gu Fei. This was because Batian Shen King had mentioned Gu Fei more than once in front of everyone. "Haha, well said. I'm He Tian, the darkness of the night and the sky of the day." He Tian waved his folding fan and shook his head, looking exactly like a bookworm in the human world. No one would have thought that such a person was a formation master in the cultivation world. Moreover, he was despicable and shameless. As long as he saw a treasure, he would drool and think of every way possible to get it. When he walked together with Old Tortoise, they were definitely a perfect match. "Hee, your name is really interesting." Yiwu laughed. Although she already knew He Tian's name, she had to respond. "Miss Yiwu, if we get to know each other for a long time, you'll find that I'm more interesting than my name." He Tian stared at Yiwu and said. This guy wanted to pursue the pearl of the Yi family, and the pearl of the Yi family was an exquisite woman. How could she not understand the meaning behind He Tian's words? Cough, cough! Just when Yiwu was at a loss, Batian Shen King suddenly coughed twice. He then glanced at He Tian and said, "Xiao Wu, sit down too." "Yes, great ancestor." Yiwu floated to the chair opposite Gu Fei and He Tian like a butterfly and sat down. She secretly breathed a sigh of relief. If this person continued to say some misleading words, she would make a fool of herself. This old thing. He Tian was a little annoyed. Batian Shen King was interrupting him from picking up girls. This guy was not a gentleman. A gentleman would help others achieve their dreams. Come back and sit down, Gu Fei said impatiently. This guy was someone who had seen the world and experienced many storms, but he was still like this. This made Gu Fei feel a little embarrassed. Of course, He Tian was just playing around, so he didn't care about the looks of others. Although he returned to his seat, He Tian's eyes were still wandering around Yi Wu's body. By the way, Brother Gu, you haven't told me why you're here. Batian Shenking looked at Gu Fei and said. He also wanted to know why they were here. One had to know that these two people's methods were really heaven-defying. They could actually connect the two worlds and open a spatial passage between the wildlands and the Buddhist path. This was the gate of heaven and earth that connected the two worlds. What could a person who could break through two worlds not be able to solve? This made the tyrant divine emperor, an overlord of the barbarian wasteland, very curious. Hee, it's not a big deal. I just want to cooperate with you, tyrannical sovereign, and snatch the array on Mount Meru. Gu Fei's tone was incomparably calm. What? Batian Shenking was shocked when he heard this. The pearl of the Yi family, Yi Wu, was so shocked that she almost stood up from her seat. You want to obtain the array that allows you to enter and exit the Buddhist path? Although Batian Shenking was shocked, his eyes also lit up. At this time, all the forces that came out of the wildlands already knew about the existence of this array. The Beast Emperor Mountain, the Chaotic Dragon Cave, and the other powerful tribes that had attached themselves to these two forces all wanted to obtain the array on Mount Meru. However, there were 3 supreme Buddhist weapons hovering above Mount Meru. With the power of the Supreme Tao protecting Mount Meru, no force could break through Mount Meru at this time. If they wanted to obtain the array, they would have to use their wits. Although the Buddhist path is good, it is ultimately someone else's territory. How can a true powerhouse be restricted by a place like this? Gu Fei said. Those with the heart of a supremacy couldn't stand being restricted by a place because their stage was the 3 realms and 6 paths. They had to conquer the 9 skies and 10 lands to become an ultimate supremacy. Yi Wu's eyes sparkled as she looked at Gu Fei. Could it be that Brother Gu already has a plan? Batian Shenking knew that these two people were really going to make a big move. Moreover, their target this time was Mount Meru, which was guarded by the 3 supreme Buddhist weapons. At this time, it was almost impossible to take anything out of Mount Meru because it was guarded by the supreme Buddhist weapons. Yes, you only need to bring us to Mount Meru, Gu Fei said calmly. As long as they could reach Mount Meru, he had a 90% chance of obtaining the array. Please share, target equals, _blank. Chapter 1536. Mount Meru, the legendary ancient sacred mountain where the Buddhas comprehended the Tao. Even in the ancient times, this sacred mountain enjoyed a great reputation, the supreme sacred mountain in the hearts of countless Buddhas. Gu Fei and He Tian had visited this sacred mountain long ago. They had already been there once, so they knew the location of the heavenly Buddha Path's connection array. Knowing that Gu Fei and He Tian wanted to obtain the array on Mount Meru, Shenking and Ye Wu were shocked. After all, this was a sacred mountain protected by a Buddhist weapon. Shenking was in a difficult position. Both the Beast Sovereign Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave's experts were keeping an eye on Mount Meru. Any strange movements at this time would be detected by these forces. Back when the humans had emerged from the wildlands, they hadn't joined the war between Mount Meru, Beast Emperor Mountain, or the Chaos Dragon Cave, nor had they attacked Mount Meru. The matter with the sloppy monk could be said to be a misunderstanding. After all, the Buddhas on Mount Meru were also part of the human race. Thus, according to Gu Fei's calculations, if the human race took the initiative to form an alliance with Mount Meru, they would have a high chance of ascending the mountain. In the end, Gu Fei left the Yi family's ancient city. Boss, do you think this will succeed? Is the Yi family willing to take this risk? On a mountain peak 1,000 li away from the Yi family's ancient city, He Tian asked Gu Fei. Shenking is a person with the heart of a sovereign, Gu Fei said. I understand. He Tian nodded. At this time, his frivolous demeanor had disappeared, replaced with a solemn expression. Subsequently, Gu Fei and He Tian's figures disappeared from the mountain peak. Very soon, the Yi clan of the Wildlands made their move. Shin King of the Tyrant Heavens sent people to contact the Li clan of the Wildlands. The two major powers of the human race showed signs of joining forces. This caused the Buddhist sect, Beast Emperor Mountain, and Chaos Dragon Cave to feel uneasy. The human race was a force that could break the current balance. Both sides wanted to rope in the human race, but both sides were hesitant. The Buddhists were hesitant because Shin King of the Heavens had once displayed his killing intent towards the Dharma Gate. That day, he let out a furious roar that shook the 9 heavens and injured the sloppy monk. If it wasn't for the ancient city's array formation, the sloppy monk would probably have been killed by Overlord Shin King's roar. The Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave were also hesitating. It should be known that the human race of the Desolate Lands had always been at odds with the Beast race and Demon race. The Beast race and Demon race had more or less some grudges with the human race. Several days later, the human race sent an envoy to Mount Meru. Sure enough, the humans are going to ally with Mount Meru. The big baldy on Mount Meru is also a human, they come from the same bloodline. Looks like we have to be prepared for the worst. Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave were the first to know about the human race's envoy. The Beast Emperor, Heavenly Ping, and the other experts all felt the pressure. The human race of the Desolate Lands joining hands with Mount Meru was something they didn't want to see. I didn't expect Shin King of the Heavens to move so quickly. In an ancient temple at the foot of Mount Meru, Gu Fei and He Tian transformed into 2 young cultivators and were talking to a young monk who received them. The monk of Mount Meru was very clear about the current situation. If they could rope in the human race, Mount Meru would not be so passive. They could even turn from defense to offense and attack the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave. Gu Fei and He Tian were the envoys sent by the human race. We want to see someone who can speak here. Erebus was very direct. He wanted to go to the peak of Mount Meru, because only the Baldi there had the authority to speak. Small characters like him wouldn't be able to do anything. Esteemed guests, please wait a moment. Allow this little monk to go and report. The young monk invited Gu Fei and He Tian to sit down, and then left. This was a simple ancient temple without any fancy decorations. There was only a Buddha statue hanging on the wall, and there wasn't even an incense burner table in front of it. Gu Fei and He Tian didn't talk and sat quietly. They knew that there were countless eyes watching them from the top of Mount Meru. If they weren't careful, they would be seen through. Although Gu Fei and He Tian weren't afraid of being discovered by the people on Mount Meru, if they could use their wits, then they would. They didn't intend to attack unless it was absolutely necessary. Not long after, the young monk came again with a decree from the top of Mount Meru, inviting Gu Fei and He Tian to go to the top of Mount Meru. How did things go so smoothly? Gu Fei and He Tian were a little surprised. Could it be that they were discovered by the monks on Mount Meru? With their current cultivation, not to mention other powerhouses, even half-step saints wouldn't be able to see any clues. They calmly followed behind the young monk and walked out of the ancient temple. Along the way, there were many ancient temples everywhere. Mount Meru had existed for too long. The temples on the mountain were all ancient temples, and each ancient temple was covered with traces of time. There were also many Buddhist pagodas on Mount Meru. These were the burial places of the fallen Buddhist powerhouses. Of course, the majority of the fallen Buddhist powerhouses rarely found their remains. Not long after, Gu Fei and He Tian felt a vast and boundless fluctuation of Buddhist power. The Buddhist palace at the top of Mount Meru emitted a terrifying fluctuation. The 3 Buddhist weapons hovering above the Buddhist palace had some kind of connection with it. Gu Fei and He Tian didn't feel too much pressure since the aura of the extreme Tao had already been restrained. Soon, they were led by the young monk to the top of Mount Meru and arrived in front of the Buddhist palace. At this time, in the Yi clan's ancient city, a group of Yi clan's upper echelons had gathered in the main hall of the city lord's mansion. Old ancestor, isn't this too risky? The Yi clan's patriarch said. He was a middle-aged man with white hair and a stocky build, giving off a powerful feeling. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. An old man with white hair and eyebrows said. This old man had a very high seniority, even the Yi clan's patriarch had to call him granduncle. It's hard to say if that person really has a heaven-defying method. A young man spoke. This young man was Yuwuji, the rising star that the Yi clan had high hopes for. In this kind of situation, only a junior like him had the right to speak. But offending a Buddhist sect that has a Buddhist weapon, the Yi clan's patriarch was still a little worried. One should know that there were 3 Buddhist weapons on Mount Meru. These Buddhist weapons had the power to destroy heaven and earth. Alright, there's no need to worry so much. It's best if those 2 overturn the entire Mount Meru. We'll just wait and see. Tyrannical Shin King said with a sharp glint in his eyes. Everyone in the hall could not help but be shocked. To see the first advertisement, please go. Please share. Target equals _blank. Chapter 1537. Date: November 7th. Gu Fei and He Tian used their identities as human race envoys to ascend Mount Meru. Although there were many Buddhist masters gathered on the mountain, none of them could see through their disguise. What baffled Gu Fei and He Tian was that the Buddhist masters in the Buddha Palace did not receive them immediately. Instead, they arranged for them to stay in a temple next to the Buddha Palace. The atmosphere on Mount Meru doesn't seem right. He Tian transmitted his voice to Gu Fei. Along the way, they actually did not see a single almighty Buddhist. This situation was very strange. It should be known that all the almighty Buddhists were currently gathered at Mount Meru. And I can't sense any Buddhist masters or either. Gu Fei even suspected that they might have been seen through by the experts of the Buddhist sects. However, if they were really seen through, the experts of the Buddhist sects would have already taken action. 1. At this time, a sudden rumbling sound came from outside. The void rippled, and a powerful Buddhist energy came from the direction of the Buddha Palace. This, Gu Fei and He Tian dashed out from the temple. At this time, the golden Buddha aura illuminated the world. A golden pillar of light rushed out from the Buddha Palace, piercing through the void above the Buddha Palace and into the endless chaos. What are they doing? Gu Fei and He Tian were shocked. They could feel the boundless Buddhist energy coming from the golden pillar of light. This energy was comparable to the power of the extreme Tao. It's the power of the void. Could it be that the Buddhist masters are trying to guide something over to the heavenly Buddha path? He Tian was, after all, an array formation master. He quickly saw through the clues. Someone was operating a void array to connect the 2 worlds. Amidst the golden Buddha aura, mysterious ancient runes could be vaguely seen. This was a Buddhist grand array driven by Buddhist energy. The runes were branded in the void. These guys, they actually moved that magical formation into the Buddha Palace. Both Gu Fei and He Tian's expressions changed slightly. Could it be that the almighty Buddhists on Mount Meru were guiding the Buddhists from the human world to reinforce them? In the battle against the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern, the Buddhist League failed to gain the upper hand. Other than the Mount Meru, all the Buddhist temples in the heavenly Buddha sect were destroyed. The ancient beasts and ancient demons wreaked havoc in the world, forcing all the Buddhist experts to Mount Meru. The Mount Meru mountain was on the weaker side, but if they could attract Buddhism masters from the human world to the Blessed Buddha sect, the Buddhism sect's influence would increase greatly, enough to contend against the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern. Especially the current Buddha Lord of the human realm, his cultivation was peerlessly strong. Rumble! The void trembled as a wave of Buddha energy spread out, forming a black hole in the void. At the edge of the black hole, countless array runes could be vaguely seen. The phenomenon on Mount Meru was soon known by all the major forces. Boom! 10,000 li away, a huge mountain rose into the sky. An aura of the extreme Tao spread out from the mountain, shaking the entire blessed Buddha sect. It was as if the extreme Tao beast of the primordial era had awakened. In another direction, an aura of the extreme Tao dragon burst out. A huge shadow of a dragon condensed in the sky, exuding a majestic aura of the Chaos Dragon. What are those baldies on Mount Meru doing? On the Beast Emperor Mountain, from the extreme Tao Beast Emperor Palace, a chilling voice came out. In the sky above Mount Meru, 3 Buddhist weapons hovered in 3 different directions, guarding the mountain. Buzz! The green jade ring saber was shocked. After sensing the aura of the extreme Tao from the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern, the deity inside the Buddha saber woke up. Dang! The Buddha bell rang, changing every inch of the void in the blessed Buddha sect. The Buddhist lullaby bell also woke up, vibrating with a peaceful Buddhist hymn. The 3 Realms Buddhist lamp was the last to wake up. Although the lamp was only the size of a soybean, it emitted a tricolored Buddhist light that illuminated the entire world. The awakening of the 3 Buddhist weapons made the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern not dare to act rashly. Although the power of the extreme Tao was overwhelming, the terrifying pressure was completely retracted. Otherwise, the billions of lives in the heavenly Buddha path would suffer a calamity. Even so, Gu Fei and He Tian on Mount Meru still felt the great pressure. At this time, a powerful aura suddenly emerged from the pitch-black space passage. A peerless character was crossing over. When Gu Fei and He Tian felt this aura, they were shocked to the extreme. They never thought that the person could come out from that place. Could it be that not only could that formation connect to the human realm, but it could also allow people to enter and exit the 9 heavens? The ancient Buddhist palace on Mount Meru had 9 layers. Each layer was a world of its own. Hence, it was also known as the 9 heavens of the Buddhist palace. Even so, this was still a huge surprise to Gu Fei and He Tian. Rumble! The spatial passageway trembled. A powerful aura surged out from the black hole, shaking the heavens. This was an exceptionally powerful figure that was currently crossing realms to come over. Everyone in the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern could feel this aura coming from the space passage. How could there be such an existence in the Buddhist sect? The voice of the Beast Emperor was heard from the peak of the Beast Emperor Mountain. The expert crossing over had a cultivation base and realm that surpassed the half-step saint realm. This was a quasi-saint. A demi-saint has crossed over. An old voice came from the Chaos Dragon Cavern. At the same time, in an ancient human city in the mountains, a Shin King suddenly opened his eyes. His gaze seemed to be able to pierce through the void as he looked towards Mount Meru. A quasi-saint of the Buddhist sect? In the ancient human city, every disciple of the Yi clan heard this voice. This was the voice of their old ancestor. There was a quasi-saint in the Buddhist sect? The aura of a sage to be spread out in all directions from the peak of Mount Meru. The peaceful Buddhist power caused all living beings to have an impulse to convert. The aura of a quasi-saint spread out in all directions from the peak of Mount Meru. The peaceful Buddhist energy caused the hearts of all living beings to have the urge to convert. Things have gotten complicated. He Tian transmitted his voice to Gu Fei. Things have gotten complicated. Even Gu Fei was moved. He didn't expect that the Buddhist sect's supreme experts in the Buddhist palace were here to receive that person. This was a variable that even he didn't expect. What should we do? He Tian stared at the black hole above Mount Meru. That person's arrival had disrupted their plans. Given that person's cultivation base, they were in danger of being seen through. This was Mount Meru, a place where all the great monks of the heavenly Buddhist sect were gathered. If their identities were seen through, it would be a disaster for them. 4th floor. I immediately closed my eyes and sat down cross-legged, trying my best to comprehend. At that moment, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged into my body, gradually forming a huge sun character in my mind. It grew bigger and clearer. The true energy in my body surged. Traces of blood seeped out from the surface of my body. My lips parted, and a bright blood-red F*ck character shot up to the sky. Soon after, a strong light shone from the horizon, tearing through the boundless darkness. After a long time, a clap of thunder resounded, and a F*ck resounded through the heaven and earth, echoing for a long time. The Xiantian and Xiantian Qi circled around my body for a long time. I waved my hand and the primordial chaos appeared. There was no sky, no earth, no light, only darkness. My eyes opened and shot out a golden ray. Within the golden ray, there were 2 words, F*CK. How long has it been? 10 years? 100 years? Or 10 million years? Finally, 4 words appeared in the darkness, comment successful. At this moment, my heart calmed down. I sat in meditation for a long time. Unknowingly, I discovered that my cultivation had increased by quite a bit. I sneered and decided not to stay here any longer. Raising my head to the sky, I roared and waved my sleeves. With a step, I disappeared into the darkness, leaving behind the voices of all living beings. Chapter 1538. Date: November 0. Sage to be Buddhist expert had crossed over, causing Gu Fei and He Tian to be moved. They already knew who was going to enter the heavenly Buddha path, and they were very familiar with the terrifying aura coming from the black hole. The golden pillar of light froze the heaven and earth, and the ripples coming from the pitch-black spatial passageway were getting stronger and stronger. An extremely powerful existence was rapidly approaching. Boss! In front of the Buddha palace, He Tian looked at Gu Fei anxiously. Since he couldn't outwit them, he would just snatch it. Gu Fei stared at the black hole in the sky and said coldly. A powerful battle intent rushed out of his body. Swish! He directly opened up his inner world and a figure walked out from it. Boom! Sage tier energy ripples exploded on Mount Meru, and a terrifying pressure swept out in all directions, startling all the Buddhist experts in the first heaven of the Buddha palace. What? Someone is coming up the mountain! Exclamations came from the first heaven of the Buddha palace, and some Buddhist experts immediately rushed towards the palace gates. It was not a small matter for someone to come up Mount Meru. Rumble! The tightly shut gates of the Buddha palace slowly opened, and at this moment, that peerlessly powerful figure had already rushed into the black hole in the sky. What? An aged voice came from the Buddha palace. The person who came up Mount Meru had actually entered the spatial passageway, and was going to kill the returning expert. Sage tier ripples caused all the Buddhist experts to feel a chill in their hearts. One had to know that there were no more sages in this world. Could the world have changed? This person had become a sage. No one knew that the peerlessly powerful figure was Gu Fei's immortal Tao's sacred physique clone. The spatial passageway immediately emitted terrifying sage tier ripples, and Gu Fei's immortal Tao's sacred physique clone was already fighting with that peerless expert who had crossed over worlds. Kill! Gu Fei didn't need to conceal his aura anymore, and the aura of a mighty sovereign burst out from the peak of Mount Meru. He took a big step forward and directly punched at the palace gates that were slowly opening. Bang! The door of the Buddhist palace shook violently as if it had been hit by a huge mountain. Even with the support of Buddhist power, the door was still smashed open by a huge force. A figure behind the door was sent flying backward, golden Buddha blood spurting out of his mouth. Gu Fei strode into the Buddhist palace in a domineering manner. His powerful blood and chi formed a huge dragon above his head, and the aura of primal chaos filled the air. His yin and yang true force transformed into chaotic true force. At this moment, although the chaotic true force in his body was not strong, it was still not a small matter. There was actually someone who could block Buddha Elder's attack. Who was this person? Was he a human half-sage? How was it possible that he wasn't a half-sage? Very quickly, all the Buddhist experts were shocked because they sensed from Gu Fei's aura that Gu Fei wasn't a half-sage. He was only a fifth-layer almighty. How is this possible? It's too heaven-defying. A fifth-layer almighty was actually able to contend with a half-sage. What kind of concept was this? He was able to challenge someone of a higher level, and he even seemed to have the upper hand. This was simply a legend, something that had never happened before. It had to be known that the gap between a fifth-layer almighty and a half-sage was just too huge. It was so huge that it was impossible to bridge. However, this human almighty was challenging everyone's understanding. Do it! Gu Fei sent a voice transmission to He Tian. They didn't come here to have fun. They had to obtain the array to enter and exit the heavenly Buddha path. This was the reason why they took the risk to come to Mount Meru. Swish! A yin-yang divine light rushed out from He Tian's glabella towards the array in the sky. He used the yin-yang divine eye to scan the array and imprint it into his heart. As long as He Tian saw it once, he would be able to set up the array. This was the means of an array grandmaster. Quickly stop him! The Buddhist experts naturally knew what He Tian was doing. They immediately rushed over and attacked He Tian. All kinds of Buddhist artifacts immediately smashed at Gu Fei and He Tian from all directions. G target equals _blank. Chapter 1539. All kinds of Buddhist implements bloomed with the brightest Buddhist light. The entire world shook and was shrouded in Buddhist light. All the Buddhist powerhouses attacked together. Even He Tian could not help but be shocked. But he did not stop. The yin-yang divine eye between his eyebrows bloomed with divine light. The power of yin and yang intertwined to form the power of the Great Path. He carefully imprinted the runes of the spell formation in the sky into his mind. However, this spell formation that could connect the two worlds was not that simple. It had the shadow of the extreme path runes. It was a quasi-extreme ancient spell formation laid down by a supreme figure. "Come at me!" Gu Fei shouted. His fists bloomed with dazzling stellar qi. The law of chaos was vast and mighty. With just one punch, he smashed a Buddhist commandment blade into pieces. The golden fragments were like thousands of golden divine lights, shooting out in all directions. Even the nearby Buddha armaments were affected, unable to unleash their true power. Boom! A Buddhist seal dropped thousands of Buddhist qi, pressing down from the sky. The void was collapsing, displaying a powerful suppressive force. This was a Buddhist weapon refined by a pinnacle powerhouse. The combat power of a pinnacle powerhouse was many times stronger than that of an ordinary powerhouse. This made Gu Fei very serious. Bam! Gu Fei displayed his martial arts combat skills. He simply and directly punched upwards, his fist directly colliding with the Buddhist seal that was pressing down from the sky. The Buddhist seal was sent flying high into the sky by Gu Fei's punch. Dense cracks appeared on the Buddhist seal, and it was almost shattered by Gu Fei's punch. The Buddhist treasure was closely related to one's body. The Buddhist seal suffered a great impact. The owner of the Buddhist seal also vomited blood and fell back. Kill! Gu Fei was unparalleled. He fought in all directions with his fists. The dozen or so Buddhist implements that were smashing towards him were either smashed on the spot or severely injured, almost crippled. What? The dozens of almighty Buddhists who attacked Gu Fei and He Tian were all shocked to the extreme. This man's combat power was truly heaven-defying. He was actually able to block the attacks of dozens of almighty Buddhists by himself. Rumble! Chaotic energy swirled around Gu Fei's body, making him look like a god of war who had emerged from the chaos. The powerful energy that emanated from his body caused the surrounding void to tremble. The power of chaos! Elder Fo's eyes narrowed. The person in front of him was incredible. He had actually cultivated chaotic force. Out of all the powers, it was the most difficult to grasp. Boom! Boundless Buddhist power surged out of Elder Buddha's body. A round of divine light emerged from behind Elder Buddha's head, and a Buddha's shadow emerged from Elder Buddha's body. Great Buddha hand! Elder Buddha's hoarse voice sounded. Then, like an ancient Buddha of war descending, he directly stretched out his hand and pressed it towards Gu Fei. A powerful force that made one's heart palpitate surged out from Elder Buddha's hand. Bam! The Buddha's hand covered the sky and crushed down from the sky. The void was torn apart, and the terrifying fluctuation of Buddhist power destroyed everything. This was the power of a half-step saint. Gu Fei's eyes were like lightning. He rushed into the sky and directly used the heaven-covering hand. This was a confrontation between Buddhism and martial arts. The two forces collided in an instant. Boom! The entire world seemed as if it was about to collapse. A terrifying power surged out in all directions, causing the Buddhist almighty figures in the surroundings to be sent flying. Gu Fei and Elder Buddha clashed head-on. The power of a half-step saint was too powerful. The moment Gu Fei's big hand collided with Elder Buddha's great Buddha hand, the clothes on his upper body turned into flying ashes. Roar! The muscles and bones on Gu Fei's arms were vibrating, and the powerful physical power was released. The violent power directly broke through the great Buddha hand and hit Elder Buddha. What? Elder Buddha was shocked. He still underestimated the combat power of this person. An extremely tyrannical physical body coupled with the chaotic divine power. Such an opponent was too terrifying. Even a powerful Buddhist half-step saint was forced back by Gu Fei's punch. The almighty Buddhists who saw this scene nearby were all dumbfounded. A person at the fifth heaven actually forced back a half-step saint. All of this was so unreal. It was unbelievable, but they had to believe it because such a thing was obvious to all. The muscles and bones of Gu Fei's upper body vibrated, and a faint chaotic divine light wandered on his body. His whole body seemed to be made of chaotic divine iron, full of power. Buddhist half-step saint is nothing more than this. Gu Fei's long hair fluttered, and his battle intent was like a rainbow. He looked in all directions disdainfully. With his own strength, he shocked all the almighty Buddhists in the first heaven of the Buddha Palace. Humph! A cold snort came from above. Elder Buddha, who was forced back by Gu Fei, attacked again. Around Elder Buddha's body, there were many Buddhist commandment blades condensed. These were Buddhist commandment blades condensed with supreme Buddhist power. Each Buddhist commandment blade emitted a powerful fluctuation of Buddhist power. Swish! As Elder Buddha waved his hands forward, countless Buddhist commandment blades floating around him immediately emitted a bright Buddhist light, turned into peerless blade light, and slashed at Gu Fei. As a Buddhist half-step saint, he was actually forced back by a person who was only at the fifth heaven of the Almighty. This was definitely a humiliation for the highly respected Elder Buddha. Even Elder Buddha, who had cultivated for countless years, felt his face burning and ashamed. The other party's cultivation realm was not comparable to his, but the strength of the other party's combat power was faintly suppressing him. Gu Fei opened and closed his fists, and directly rushed forward. Every punch could shatter dozens of golden saber chi. The shattered saber light turned into countless light rain and dissipated between heaven and earth. At this time, the saint-level fluctuation coming from the spatial passage in the sky became more and more powerful. Gu Fei's immortal path's sacred physique avatar was fighting with the peerless figure who crossed the boundary. How can this be? The connection between Gu Fei and his primordial spirit had never been broken. He could feel everything that the immortal path's sacred physique avatar could feel. The person in the spatial passage was wearing a Taoist robe, and it was this Taoist robe that protected the person. Otherwise, the immortal path's sacred physique avatar would have killed this guy long ago. The situation is not good. Hurry up, we have to retreat. While Gu Fei was fighting with Elder Buddha, he transmitted his voice to He Tian below. The situation in the spatial passage was not optimistic. Although the Taoist robe on the person who crossed the boundary was not eye-catching, it began to emit the aura of the extreme Tao. It's almost done, He Tian replied. At this time, his yin-yang divine eyes had already been activated to the limit. Countless runes interweaved in his eyes, seeing through the source. All the runes that made up the spirit formation in the sky were forcefully imprinted in his mind. This was a secret technique that could temporarily remember anything he wanted to remember. The runes of the spirit design in the sky were too many and complicated. Only this secret technique could be used to completely memorize it. Chapter 1540. A spirit array that could cross between two worlds was definitely extraordinary. It was not something that an ordinary person could arrange. The spirit array on Mount Meru was not created by an ancient Buddhist lord, but by a quasi-supremacy of the Buddhist sect. Even a great sage would find it difficult to arrange such a formation, unless it was an extreme Tao Supreme, or a quasi-supreme. Although this formation was not an extreme Tao ancient formation, it was still a quasi-supreme ancient formation. Such a formation would make anyone's eyes red with greed, especially those ancient beasts and ancient demons trapped in the heavenly Buddha path, Beast Emperor Mountain, and chaos dragon cave. Only in the true great heaven and earth could one comprehend the flawless great Tao. In the heavenly Buddha path, there was no flawless great Tao. Even if there was, it was only the Tao of an ancient Buddhist lord. An extreme Tao supreme could only be born in the true great heaven and earth. Damn it! At this time, He Tian's yin-yang divine eye had been operated to the limit. A stream of blood flowed down from the divine eye between his eyebrows, and countless Tao patterns intertwined in the divine eye. A quasi-supreme level formation was too mysterious and complex. He Tian had not reached that level of cultivation. Although he just forcibly memorized the formation patterns of the formation, his divine eye almost couldn't bear it. Boom! At this time, a terrifying fluctuation of Buddhist power came from the spatial passage, and a wisp of extreme Tao aura came out from the spatial passage. Bam! With a muffled sound, a figure fell from the spatial passage in the sky, and endless golden Buddhist light filled every inch of space in the spatial passage. The pitch-black spatial passage was illuminated by the Buddhist light. Inside, a Buddha figure emerged, exuding an endless auspicious aura, as if an ancient Buddhist lord had descended. Damn it! Gu Fei was taken aback. His immortal Tao's sacred physique avatar was beaten out of the spatial passage, and that person actually had the cultivation and strength to resist the power of a sage. Go! Gu Fei shouted and directly punched Elder Buddha back, then rushed down. At this time, there was no time to care so much. He had to retreat first. Success! At this critical moment, the yin-yang divine eye in He Tian's forehead finally managed to imprint the complete pattern of the formation in the sky into his mind. Where do you think you're going? Elder Buddha and a group of Buddhist mighty figures chased after Gu Fei. Roar! Gu Fei's immortal Tao's sacred physique clone roared and burst forth with saintly power, sending the group of Buddhist experts flying. Even Elder Fo coughed up a mouthful of blood as he retreated. Gu Fei and He Tian followed closely behind as the clone of the immortal Tao's sacred physique rushed out of the Buddha palace. The sound of Buddha's exorcism rang out from the spatial passageway in the sky. It was as if countless Buddhas were chanting sutras. The moment this Buddha's voice appeared, the entire world became peaceful. Even Gu Fei's battle intent was like a rainbow. After hearing this Buddhist chant, his battle intent actually began to subside, and his state of mind actually gradually became tranquil. This feeling surprised him. This kind of power was enough to turn evil into peace, and it could even enlighten demons. Gu Fei and He Tian weren't ordinary people. How could they be so easily enlightened? They directly soared into the sky and rushed out of Mount Meru. At this time, all the forces knew that a great change had occurred on Mount Meru. The experts of Beast Sovereign Mountain and Chaos Dragon Cavern had come, but with the three supreme Buddhist armaments guarding Mount Meru, no one dared to be presumptuous. I didn't think that the one who broke into Mount Meru was actually him. The experts of the various forces were incomparably shocked. Some of them recognized Gu Fei and He Tian. These two were the ruthless people who had turned the wild lands upside down, causing headaches for everyone there. Those big baldies on Mount Meru are going to be out of luck, Old Antique whispered. These old antiques had already experienced Gu Fei and He Tian's means. Moreover, Gu Fei also had a saintly avatar. Rumble! All of Mount Meru shook as Gu Fei and He Tian rushed out of Mount Meru. Fluctuations of saintly power spread out from the Buddhist palace. Soon after, a figure rushed out from the Buddhist palace. At this time, the peerless powerhouse that had crossed worlds finally appeared in the spatial passage. It was a monk dressed in sloppy monk robes. A powerful aura emanated from the monk's body. There was a faint aura of a sage lingering around the monk's body. A quasi-sage! Only half-saints and quasi-sages had the aura of a sage. Such existences had already surpassed the realm of almighty existences and possessed some of the aura of a sage. Outside of Mount Meru, the experts were alarmed. The appearance of a quasi-sage wasn't a good thing. One had to know that a quasi-sage represented invincibility. In a world where sages were extinct, quasi-sages were the strongest existences in the world. Gu Fei and He Tian, as well as the immortal Tao Saint Avatar, rushed out of Mount Meru and disappeared into the distance. The almighty existences on Mount Meru didn't dare to chase after them. One had to know that the immortal Tao Saint Avatar was bringing up the rear. Killing almighty existences was as easy as flipping one's hand. Chasing after them was the same as throwing their lives away. The monks on Mount Meru weren't that stupid. I didn't expect to see that monk Heavenly Dharma. Gu Fei and He Tian rushed out for thousands of miles before stopping. The battle just now was extremely tense. The monks on Mount Meru weren't asking for help from the mortal world, but to receive Heavenly Dharma. Shouldn't that guy be trapped in the wildlands? He Tian was astonished. He thought of a possibility. The formation that could connect to the mortal world could connect to the 9 Buddhist heavens. This day was destined to not be peaceful. Heavenly Dharma had returned, and not only that, the Beast Lord and Demon Lord of Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave had also appeared. The Savage Beast Lord and the Chaos Demon Lord had disappeared for a long time. No one would have thought that they would return together with Heavenly Dharma. Moreover, the 2 invincible existences in the wildlands seemed to have converted to Buddhism and became its protectors. To the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave, this was definitely a piece of shocking news. No one had thought that such a situation would occur. The Savage Beast Lord and the Chaos Demon Lord were both quasi-sage existences. How could they have converted to Buddhism? The Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave were thrown into disarray by this sudden change. How can our Lord convert to Buddhism? That's not our Lord. Very soon, the Beast Emperor Mountain announced that the Savage Beast Lord was no longer recognized by the Beast Emperor Mountain. Following that, the Chaos Dragon Cave drew a clear line between itself and the Chaos Demon Lord. The Beast Sovereign Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cavern were places that had produced Extreme Supremes in the past. They possessed Extreme Supremes' legacies. How could they possibly submit to other forces? The conversion of the Savage Beast Lord and the Chaos Demon Lord was an absolute humiliation to the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave. Please share, target equals, _blank. Chapter 1541. The Savage Beast Lord returned and wanted to return to the Beast King Mountain. However, the Beast King Mountain would not accept the return of the Beast Lord who had converted to Buddhism. A great battle was inevitable. The opponent was a sage-to-be from the Beast clan. He was extremely powerful, and his original body was an ancient beast with the bloodline of an ancient divine beast. Roar! On this day, an earth-shattering roar was heard outside the Beast King Mountain. A golden dragon was hovering in the sky and an extremely powerful draconic might was released, causing the entire area to shake. This was a golden war dragon with the bloodline of a real dragon. It was so powerful that it was unbelievable. Its huge dragon claws could crush a mountain. Golden dragon, if you don't leave now, you can stay here forever. A cold voice came from the peak of the Beast King Mountain. A beast shadow loomed in the Beast King Palace at the peak of the mountain. An aura that was not weaker than the Golden War Dragon spread out from the beast shadow. You! The Golden War Dragon was extremely shocked. He had only left for 100 or 200 years. He did not expect that the opponent he had defeated in the past had broken through to such a level. You what? Get lost if you know what's good for you. The ancient beast in the Beast King Palace did not give the Golden War Dragon any face. An extremely dangerous aura spread out from the Beast King Palace. How dare you! The Golden War Dragon was furious. After all, no one had ever dared to speak to him like this. He directly attacked. A dragon claw turned into a shadow and grabbed at the peak of the Beast King Mountain. Bang! A beast fist came from the Beast King Palace. The power of a sage-to-be was vast and mighty. An invincible fist will made the world lose its color. Boom! The golden dragon claw and the beast fist collided, causing a loud explosion. The entire Beast King Mountain shook. The dragon claw was directly shattered by the beast fist. After the beast fist shattered the dragon claw, it actually continued to attack the Golden War Dragon outside the mountain. It was unstoppable. This fist will shock the Golden War Dragon. The Golden War Dragon was the savage beast lord. However, he had disappeared for 200 years. When he reappeared, he had already become a protector of Buddhism. This was unacceptable to all the ancient beasts on the Beast King Mountain. As the successor of the orthodoxy of the extreme path beast monarch, how could he convert to Buddhism? The Golden Battle Dragon had already lost the right to be the master of the wild beasts. All the ancient beasts would no longer recognize him as their master. In the eyes of the ancient beasts of the Beast Emperor Mountain, only the king of the beasts was legitimate. Swoosh! The Golden Battle Dragon was shocked by the battle prowess of the Beast Emperor, and immediately retreated. Boom! The aura on his body skyrocketed, and his strength soared. This was an offensive technique of the dragon race. It could stimulate the bloodline of the battle dragon in one's body and increase one's combat strength to the limit. This was a combat technique of the dragon race. It originated from the bloodline inheritance, and was not the inheritance of the extreme beast emperor. However, the Golden Battle Dragon had the bloodline of the ancient true dragon flowing in his body. To a certain extent, this was also a kind of supreme bloodline. The inheritance contained in the bloodline was not necessarily inferior to the inheritance of the extreme beast emperor. Rumble! The powerful forces of the two sage-to-be collided. The entire world was pierced, and the void was shattered. This was a battle of equal strength. The two experts of the Beast clan had new and old grudges together. Both of their eyes were bloodshot. All kinds of killing techniques emerged one after another. In the end, golden dragon blood sprinkled from the sky. The Golden Battle Dragon retreated, and the Emperor of the Beast Emperor returned to the Beast Emperor Palace at the peak of the Beast Emperor Mountain. I didn't expect it to be a situation where both sides suffered. A figure appeared in the distant sky outside the Beast Emperor Mountain. This person was Gu Fei. How could he not come to watch the battle between the two experts of the Beast clan? After all, the lineage of the Beast Emperor Mountain had the inheritance of the extreme path. After Gu Fei and He Tian broke out of Mount Meru, they found a secret place. He Tian began to deduce the formation that could connect to the human world. This formation was extraordinary. It was definitely the work of a sage-to-be. He Tian couldn't set up this formation in a short time. It would take him a lot of time to deduce it. At this time, with the return of Heavenly Monk Dharma, the situation of the entire Heavenly Buddha sect changed. The savage beast lord and chaos demonic lord who had disappeared for 200 years actually submitted to Heavenly Monk Dharma. The strength of the Buddhist sect suddenly increased. With the existence of three sage-to-be, the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave didn't dare to act rashly. Please share. Chapter 1542. The Wildlands Beast King wanted to re-enter the Beast Sovereign Mountain and fought with the Beast Sovereign. In the end, he was defeated and had no choice but to retreat. The battle between the Golden Battle Dragon and the Emperor of the Beast Emperors was earth-shattering. This was a battle between sage-to-be, and many experts had come to watch the battle. Among these experts were Gu Fei and Divine Emperor Ba Tian. Who would have thought that not only did the Beast Sovereign get rid of the death chi in his body, he even profited from the disaster and broke through to the quasi-sage realm. The tyrant sky deity sovereign was not mistaken. The Beast Sovereign was already a quasi-sage. Back then, when the peerless demon god broke into the Beast Sovereign Mountain, the Beast Sovereign was injured by the peerless demon god and poisoned with corpse poison. The corpse poison on the evil god's body wasn't an ordinary one. Even Sky Tyrant God Emperor was injured by the evil god when he was suppressing the immature evil god. The death chi contained in the corpse poison made Sky Tyrant Deity Emperor hover between life and death. Even his cultivation fell from the sage-to-be realm, and he was almost at the end of his rope. If he had Gu Fei's help, Ba Tianshan King would really be in danger. The Beast Sovereign Mountain's extreme Dao inheritance is incredible. Gu Fei glanced at the huge mountain floating in the sky and said indifferently. The reason why the Emperor of the Beast Emperors was able to expel the deathly aura from its body was probably because the Emperor of the Beast Emperors had used extreme strength. Gu Fei's intrusion into Mount Meru caused the wilderness's human race to completely break off relations with the Buddhist sect. One had to know that Gu Fei and Erebus had ascended Mount Meru with the identity of the wilderness's human race's emissaries. The wildlands human race and Gu Fei had joined forces. The Yi clan and Li clan already knew that Gu Fei had obtained an array to enter and exit the heavenly Buddha path. He Tian was already calculating it. With He Tian's array formation cultivation, laying out this array was only a matter of time. The humans of the wildlands were waiting, but no one knew about this news. The people of the Buddhist sect didn't believe that He Tian could set up an ancient Buddhist array that was set up by a quasi-honorable. The reason why Gu Fei and the others rushed into Mount Meru was to snatch away that receiving array. Because Great Monk Fa Tian returned in time, Gu Fei and the others left empty-handed. However, Great Monk Heavenly Fa's ambition was too great. He actually wanted to subdue the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave. These were two superpowers that possessed supreme inheritances. Gu Fei and Batian Shen King disappeared in the sky. A few days later, the Chaos Demon Lord also made his move. The Chaos Demon Lord wanted to gather his trusted subordinates, but there weren't many ancient demons who were willing to follow him. However, it had to be said that the Chaos Demon Lord's methods were indeed better than the Savage Beast Lord's. Some of the ancient demons in the Chaos Dragon Cave were actually persuaded and left the Chaos Dragon Cave. Heavenly Ping and Qilin were both shocked and furious. The Chaos Demon Lord constantly appeared in the vicinity of the Chaos Dragon Cave. This was a threat to all the ancient demons in the Chaos Dragon Cave. The Chaos Demon Lord had already converted to the Buddhist sect and was no longer a demon lord. However, the situation in the Chaos Dragon Cave was different from the Beast Emperor Mountain. Even though Heavenly Ping's cultivation had reached the peak of the half-sage realm, he still couldn't break through. The group of ancient demons in the Chaos Dragon Cave was actually blocked by the Chaos Demon Lord. Other than a small number of ancient demons who sought refuge with the Chaos Demon Lord, the rest of the ancient demons weren't willing to follow him. They joined the Buddhist sect and became the Buddhist sect's protectors. To put it nicely, they were the Buddhist sect's protectors. To put it bluntly, they were the Buddhist sect's thugs and claws. The Chaos Dragon Cave's Grand Array was fully activated. The Chaos Demon Lord didn't dare to barge in. This was the power of the extreme Tao. The Chaos Demon Lord knew how terrifying this power was. The Chaos Dragon Cave would never submit to the Buddhist sect. Heavenly Ping had no choice but to shut himself in, attempting to break through in the depths of the Chaos Dragon Cave. Once he succeeded, he wouldn't need to fear the Chaos Demon Lord anymore. Both the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave were at a disadvantage. The ancient beasts and demonic beasts didn't dare to venture out. As a result, the Buddhist sect's momentum grew stronger. Buddhist experts began to appear in the heavenly Buddha sect's territories. The wilderness's human race was also protecting themselves, not participating in the battle. The human race had Heaven Hegemon Shen King and Gu Fei. Even Mt. Shumi's Great Monk Fa Tian didn't dare to act presumptuously. Great Monk Fa Tian knew that Gu Fei had a saint weapon of the extreme Tao on him. If he pushed Gu Fei too far, it wouldn't be good for him. In the Yi family's ancient city square, divine lights would shoot out from time to time. He Tian was doing his best to deduce the Buddhist sect's connection array that had been branded into his heart. He Tian was surrounded by a large number of divine materials, surrounded by lingering spiritual energy. Those were the waste materials of divine materials. But even if they were waste materials, they still contained spiritual energy. They were many times better than those immortal crystals that contained spiritual energy. There wasn't a single Yi family disciple who wasn't jealous, but none of them dared to go pick them up, afraid that they would disturb He Tian. Heaven Hegemon Shen King had already passed down the order that no one from the Yi family was allowed to disturb He Tian. If anyone dared to disobey the order, they would be directly expelled from the Yi family. Pun! A muffled sound rang out. He Tian was inscribing array runes on a piece of divine jade when it suddenly exploded. He Tian frowned, he failed again. That's the 9th heaven divine jade! The Yi family disciples in the distance all felt that it was a pity. A rare piece of divine jade turned into dust just like that, and the huge amount of spiritual essence it contained dissipated in the void, wasted in vain. Tian took out another piece of chaotic refined gold and began to inscribe array runes on it. However, this piece of chaotic refined gold was also destroyed by Tian. There was a mistake in the array runes, and this piece of chaotic refined gold also exploded. Setting up an array was not an easy thing to do. There must not be a single mistake when setting up the array runes, otherwise, the consequences would be very serious. What a wastrel! Even some of the Yi family's higher-ups couldn't help but shake their heads when they saw that Tian had destroyed countless divine materials. However, he had too many divine materials, as if there was no end to them. It was as if he could have as much as he wanted. Time trickled by. Tian stood on the square of the Yi family's ancient city, constantly experimenting and deducing. After consuming a large amount of divine materials, the embryonic form of the array was finally laid out by Tian. Although it was only an embryonic form, it wasn't far from success. Gu Fei also returned to the ancient city. At this time, the situation in the heavenly Buddhist sect had developed to a point where it was almost out of control. Extreme Taoists were constantly confronting each other. The Buddhist sect's influence was overwhelming, forcing the Beast Sovereign Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern to retreat into the mountains. The desolate human tribe became the target of the Beast Sovereign Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cavern. Emissaries from the two superpowers kept coming to visit, wanting to invite Heavenly Tyrant Shin King to come out of seclusion. Heavenly Tyrant Shin King was unwilling to attack the Buddhist sect at this time, so he didn't agree to the alliance. However, Gu Fei was different. He didn't have any misgivings. He walked out of the ancient city and intercepted the primal Chaos Demon Lord outside the Chaos Dragon Cavern. He wanted to challenge a demi-saint. He's crazy, he actually dares to challenge a demi-saint. No one was optimistic about Gu Fei's chances, but Gu Fei's battle intent was like a rainbow as he stared at the primal Chaos Demon Lord in front of him. He wanted to use the demi-saint to temper himself. So what if it's a demi-saint? I'm invincible. Gu Fei is very confident. Watch the first advertisement. Please share. Chapter 1543. The Primal Chaos Demon Lord was an invincible expert who dominated an area of the wildlands. He had the cultivation of a quasi-sage, and was extremely powerful. However, a supreme expert like him had actually converted to Buddhism. No one knew what had happened that caused a supreme expert to convert to Buddhism. None of the quasi-sage experts were willing to be ordered around by others. They were extremely arrogant. However, Heavenly Monk Fa Tian was able to make these existences that once looked down on the wildlands convert to Buddhism. So you're Gu Fei! Amidst the monstrous demonic qi, a pair of incomparably sharp eyes could be seen. The Wildlands Demon Lord was sizing up the human in front of him. A supreme expert at the fifth heavenly layer. Did this guy come here to die? However, the Wildlands Demon Lord did not let his guard down. On the contrary, his fighting spirit soared. How could such a person come here to die? This person must have some sort of backing. The Wildlands Demon Lord was aware that Gu Fei had a clone of the immortal Tao Saint physique. However, even if Gu Fei had a clone that had been upgraded, the Wildlands Demon Lord was not afraid. So you're the Demon Lord! Gu Fei stood high up in the sky, calmly looking at the roiling demonic qi in front of him. His tone was surprisingly calm, without a trace of nervousness. The primal Chaos Demon Lord was originally a golden bird. When she took human form, she was actually a beautiful and charming woman. Gu Fei was very surprised. He did not expect that the primal Chaos Demon Lord, one of the three overlords of the wildlands, was actually a woman. Very well. A voice that was unclear whether it belonged to a man or a woman rang out amidst the monstrous golden demonic qi. Following that, the primal Chaos Demon Lord made her move. Boundless demonic qi condensed into a golden claw in front of her, and grabbed at Gu Fei. This was the power of a quasi-sage. The golden claw tore through the void, emitting a terrifying aura of destruction. In an instant it reached Gu Fei. This is the power of a quasi-sage. Gu Fei used the 8 directional void steps, leaving behind an afterimage on the spot. His real body soared into the sky as an extremely powerful force erupted from his body. Boom! Monstrous qi and blood rushed out from Gu Fei's body. Above his head, there seemed to be a huge dragon, soaring through the 9 heavens. In this process, his aura instantly rose to the peak. Eat my fist! Gu Fei roared out. He would not go easy just because his opponent was a woman. He used his full strength right from the start. Chaotic force turned into yin and yang as his 2 fists pulsed with 2 completely different energies. His left fist was as black as ink, and there was an endless black fog rising from it. His right fist, however, was like a divine sun, emitting a terrifying white light. His fists revolved, like the samsara of yin and yang. A yin-yang Dao diagram appeared between his fists. The principles of yin and yang collided with each other, causing the strength of his fists to rise exponentially. Rumble! Gu Fei displayed an invincible fist intent, shattering the heavens and the earth as he punched towards the Chaos Demon Lord below. Layers of demonic aura dispersed under his fists. The Chaos Demon Lord was secretly shocked. This human's combat prowess was actually so strong. This was truly out of her expectations. How could a supreme existence with a cultivation base of the 5th layer have such combat prowess? Although she was shocked, the Chaos Demon Lord did not back down. Swish! Behind her, a pair of golden wings unfurled. After that, the golden feathers on her wings all soared into the sky, transforming into rays of golden light that pierced towards Gu Fei. Every single feather was a shocking golden rainbow, shattering the void and piercing through the heavens and earth. It was absolutely terrifying. Roar! Gu Fei roared in anger. Light shot out from his eyes as his fists directly collided with the thousands of golden rainbows. The heavens and earth trembled as a patch of golden rainbows was shattered by Gu Fei's fists. However, a powerful force indeed sent Gu Fei flying. Those golden rainbows were like peerless heavenly swords, each of them containing terrifying power. Although Gu Fei destroyed a patch of golden rainbows, the sleeves on his arms were completely shredded by the golden rainbows. Scars crawled all over his arms. The power of a quasi-sage is truly terrifying. Gu Fei only felt waves of intense pain coming from his arms. Even though his physical body had been tempered hundreds and thousands of times, he was still injured. Moreover, the golden demonic aura even penetrated into his arms through his wounds. Humph! He shook his arms and a powerful martial art force erupted. Sizzling sounds could be heard as rays of golden divine light rushed out from his arms. The demonic aura that had invaded his arms was immediately expelled. What? This time, the Chaos Demon Lord was truly shocked. Her opponent had actually only suffered a small injury from her attack. This made her very surprised. One should know that even a pinnacle supreme existence was like an ant in front of a quasi-sage. They could be squashed to death with a single finger. However, this ant seemed to be unusually strong. Clang! The pair of golden wings on the Chaos Demonic Lord's back flapped once again. This time, the power of the Great Way erupted from her wings. The golden feather that had just flown back turned into thousands of golden rays of light once again, soaring into the sky and piercing towards Gu Fei. This time, Gu Fei sensed something strange. Under his martial path heavenly eye, the speed of all the golden rainbows that were piercing towards him slowed down. He was shocked to find that each golden rainbow contained a demonic mark of the Great Tao. The mark condensed the power of the Great Tao. This was the divine light of the Great Tao that pierced through the sky. Damn it! Gu Fei knew that if he did not use this power, he would most likely be killed on the spot. A thunderous explosion sounded from within his body as divine marks of the Great Tao began to appear on his skin. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a peerless sacred weapon. This was a sacred weapon in human form. Die! Gu Fei pounced down from the sky and directly shattered the golden rainbows. He charged towards the Chaos Demon Lord who was shrouded in golden demonic aura. At this moment, the power of the Great Tao was added to his body, making him incomparably powerful. The golden rainbows that contained the power of the great Tao were destroyed by his fists. In an instant, he arrived in front of the Chaos Demon Lord and directly punched at the Chaos Demon Lord's chest. The Chaos Demon Lord was extremely shocked. She never imagined that Gu Fei would be so powerful. In the blink of an eye, he had arrived in front of her. Humph! The Chaos Demon Lord sneered. Her pair of jade-like hands turned golden as if they were cast from immortal gold. She moved forward to block. Bang! Gu Fei's fist collided with the Chaos Demon Lord's hands. Gu Fei only felt a strong force coming from the Chaos Demon Lord's hands. His fist seemed to have landed on an immortal divine mountain, and could not move the Chaos Demon Lord at all. Die! The Chaos Demon Lord's cold voice rang out. Then, golden demonic marks of the great Tao appeared on her golden palms. An even more powerful force erupted at this moment. What? This time, Gu Fei was truly shocked. He felt a great sense of crisis. Please share. Chapter 1544. Near the Chaos Dragon Cave, Gu Fei was fighting against the Chaos Demon Lord, who was at the Quasi-Sage realm. Both sides went all out from the start. Gu Fei displayed his invincible martial arts techniques and charged towards the Chaos Demon Lord, throwing a powerful punch at him. Gu Fei had used all his strength in this punch. His essence, qi, and spirit were all at their peak. This was the strongest attack he had ever unleashed after breaking through to the fifth heaven of Almighty Realm. Rumble! Divine markings of the Great Path appeared on his arms, and the power of the Great Path surged on his fist. The void collapsed as he punched. However, the Chaos Demon Lord only used a pair of jade-like hands to block Gu Fei's powerful punch. Moreover, the Chaos Demon Lord's true strength only exploded after blocking Gu Fei's punch. Roar! Gu Fei roared angrily. His muscles and bones let out a series of explosive sounds. The strength of his physical body and the chaotic true power were all stimulated. Pun! The clothes on his upper body were instantly torn apart by the powerful force that rushed out from his body. Boundless power surged crazily into his fist. Boom! In an instant, Gu Fei's figure was enveloped by the golden demonic light emitted from the Chaos Demon Lord's hands. Then, a figure flew out from the golden light. Too powerful! Gu Fei had to admit that the Quasi-Sage realm was still an insurmountable mountain for him. There was still a huge gap between him and the existence of a Quasi-Sage realm. He was sent flying by the power of the primal Chaos Demon Lord. The powerful force directly impacted his martial body, causing the bones in his arms to shatter. The primal Chaos Demon Lord pressed her lily-white hands on his chest. Then, his chest caved in. His entire body was almost broken into two by the Chaos Demon Lord's palm. Gu Fei was seriously injured, but his martial body was incomparably strong, so he did not lose all his combat strength. He was sent flying thousands of feet away, but in a breath, his collapsed chest immediately recovered to its original state. The shattered bones in his arm were rapidly recovering. In just a few breaths, most of the injuries on his body had already healed. This was the strength and terror of a mighty martial body. The chaotic force in Gu Fei's body surged as his muscles, bones, and flesh healed at a visible rate. In just a short moment, he had completely recovered. Vigorous blood and qi surged around Gu Fei's body. His life force was so strong that even the Chaos Demon Lord was incomparably shocked. This human was incredible. We can't let him live! The Chaos Demon Lord wanted to kill. The battle prowess that this human had displayed was way too heaven-revolting. Within the same cultivation state, there was probably no one who could be a match for him. If he didn't eliminate this human now, he would become a huge threat once he truly matured. The primal Chaos Demon Lord's killing intent rose, and he immediately took action. A figure like the Chaos Demon Lord was decisive in killing and directly attacked. Rumble! The Chaos Demon Lord turned into a golden bird, spreading his wings and flying high. The entire heaven and earth were shaken by the vast and mighty demonic power that emanated from his body, causing the void to collapse. millions of demonic marks appeared on the body of the golden bird. The Chaos Demon Lord had used his full strength to activate the power of the Great Tao. This was a quasi-sage, and his understanding of the Great Tao had already reached a level that others could not hope to reach. Countless demonic marks appeared. The Chaos Demon Lord was about to unleash his strongest attack to completely annihilate this human who dared to challenge him. However, at this moment, Gu Fei crushed a piece of divine jade in his hand. A divine light surged from his body, instantly engulfing him. Swoosh! The void was collapsing, and countless runes appeared on the ball of divine light that was wrapped around Gu Fei. In an instant, the ball of divine light escaped into the void and disappeared. What? The Chaos Demon Lord was dumbfounded. His opponent's movements were so fast that he actually escaped the instant he was about to unleash his killing move. Roar! The Chaos Demon Lord roared angrily. He was both shocked and furious. This human was decisive in killing. His cultivation and temperament were heaven-defying and far surpassed his peers. There was no one like him in the demon race. However, Gu Fei had already borrowed the power of the formation to escape into the void. Even if the Chaos Demon Lord's killing intent was monstrous, it would be difficult for him to pose a threat to Gu Fei. At the same time, a teleportation formation in the Yi family's ancient city suddenly lit up. Rays of divine light rushed out from the teleportation formation, and the void above the teleportation formation rippled like water. There's movement! The two Yi family disciples guarding the teleportation formation were shocked and rushed towards the governor's palace. However, just as the two Yi family disciples were halfway there, a figure had already rushed out of the governor's palace. The figure instantly flew over the heads of the two Yi family disciples and appeared outside the teleportation formation. It's our ancestor! The two Yi family disciples were shocked by the figure. However, when they saw who it was, they were shocked again and hurried forward to greet him. However, the figure did not pay any attention to the two Yi family disciples. The two Yi family disciples stood behind the figure and did not even dare to breathe loudly. Swoosh! At this moment, the void above the teleportation formation suddenly shook violently. A figure passed through the ripple-like void and fell out of the void. Brother Gu! Badian Shinking waved his hand and Gu Fei floated out of the teleportation formation. It was as if an invisible hand had pulled him out. Gu Fei landed on the ground and exchanged a few words with Badian Shinking. Then, he turned around and left. He entered the secret room specially prepared for him to comprehend the insights he had gained from the battle with the Chaos Demon Lord. Impressive, he actually managed to escape from the Chaos Demon Lord. Badian Shinking stared in the direction where Gu Fei had disappeared. His eyes flickered. When he heard that Gu Fei was going to challenge the Chaos Demon Lord, even he was shocked. One must know that the Chaos Demon Lord was a quasi-sage. In this world where sages were extinct, a quasi-sage was an invincible existence. Gu Fei was going to challenge the invincible Demon Lord. Badian Shinking did not think highly of Gu Fei. He thought that even if Gu Fei managed to escape from the Chaos Demon Lord, he would definitely be severely injured. However, when Gu Fei returned, he was extremely shocked. Gu Fei's blood and qi were extremely vigorous, and he did not suffer any injuries at all. Badian Shinking was extremely surprised that Gu Fei managed to escape unscathed. Badian Shinking stood there for a long time before returning to his governor's mansion. Many people in the Yi family knew that Gu Fei had challenged the Chaos Demon Lord. When they found out that Gu Fei was actually able to escape unscathed after challenging the Chaos Demon Lord, everyone was in disbelief. At this moment, Gu Fei sat cross-legged on the ground in the secret room and started to recall every single detail of his battle with the Chaos Demon Lord. He did not let go of any detail. He had a plan, and that was to continuously challenge quasi-sages before Mahakala successfully comprehended the profoundness of the guiding formation of the Buddhist sect. The primal Chaos Demon Lord was the first quasi-sage he had challenged. Who would his next target be? Please share. Chapter 1545. In a secret chamber in the ancient city of Yi, Gu Fei sat cross-legged on the floor and slowly recalled his battle with the Chaos Demon Lord. There was nothing in the secret chamber, not even a prayer mat. Furthermore, there was no light in this place. Once the door was closed, it was pitch black inside. The walls of the secret chamber were engraved with great Tao runes, and even a half-saint would find it difficult to break through. This was a secret chamber specially prepared for cultivators to cultivate in. Otherwise, if someone were to make a breakthrough in their cultivation in the city, the newly born energy would burst out of the secret chamber and spread to the surroundings. That would definitely be a disaster. Although the battle with the Chaos Demon Lord was short, Gu Fei possessed the martial Tao Heavenly Eye, which could see through all illusions in the world and point to the source. Although the killing technique displayed by the Chaos Demon Lord was terrifying, it wasn't untraceable. Gu Fei wanted to use the Chaos Demon Lord's technique to comprehend his own technique. This was a reference, not an imitation. The current Gu Fei needed to deepen his understanding of the Tao if he wanted to improve his cultivation. The Chaos Demon Lord's understanding of the Tao had already reached a level that others couldn't hope to reach. She was only one step away from comprehending her own Tao and becoming Tao. However, it was this step that the Chaos Demon Lord couldn't truly take. She was stuck at this bottleneck for countless years and had no choice but to take the risk and enter the depths of the wildlands. Gu Fei's mind gradually entered a mysterious state. In his mind, there seemed to be another him fighting with the Chaos Demon Lord. He was simulating the battle between him and the Chaos Demon Lord over and over again. He didn't miss a single detail. After repeated simulations, he realized that he could actually hold on for a while longer when fighting with the Chaos Demon Lord. The Chaos Demon Lord's understanding of the Tao wasn't something that Gu Fei could compare to. However, when one's power was strong enough, even the Tao could be suppressed. Gu Fei's martial body was incomparably strong. Coupled with the power of the chaotic genuine Qi, the two complemented each other and formed a powerful battle force. It was this battle force that allowed Gu Fei to challenge experts with higher cultivation realms than him. The primal Chaos Demon Lord gave Gu Fei a huge amount of pressure. Only with this kind of pressure could Gu Fei continue to advance bravely, becoming stronger and stronger. But this time, his opponent was a demi-saint, which was different from his previous opponents. If Gu Fei didn't have something to rely on, he would never challenge such an existence. However, if his cultivation base and strength were to increase by another level, even a sage-to-be wouldn't be able to do anything to him. For the next few days, Gu Fei closed his door, not taking a step out. By this time, the news of Gu Fei challenging the Chaos Demonic Lord had already spread throughout the Heavenly Buddha sect, shocking all the experts present. Many people knew that Gu Fei was only a fifth heaven almighty, but he was able to escape unscathed from a fight with the Chaos Demon Lord. Such a battle record could be said to be heaven-defying. If this person grows up in the primal Chaos Dragon Cave, ancient demon Heavenly Ping only said half a sentence before falling silent. Why didn't the demon race have such a genius? On the Beast Emperor Mountain, a long sigh came from the extreme Tao Beast Palace. Could it be that Gu Fei's rise is already unstoppable? On Mount Meru, Heavenly Monk stood in front of the ancient Buddha Palace, looking in the direction of the ancient human city. His eyes flickered. The primal Chaos Demon Lord, who had already become a Buddhist protector, was extremely depressed. That battle was simply a humiliation to her, causing her to lose all face. If Gu Fei hadn't escaped in time, she was 90% sure that she could have killed him on the spot. Because she hadn't used her true killing move yet. The next time we meet, no matter how heaven-defying you are, I will tear you to pieces. On Mount Meru, under a Bodhi tree in the first heaven of the Buddhist palace, a beautiful figure exuded a baleful aura, which was incompatible with the auspicious Buddhist aura around her. The battle strength that Gu Fei displayed was shocking and unbelievable. No one had ever dared to challenge a quasi-sage when they were only at the fifth heaven. Because such a crazy move was undoubtedly courting death. In the eyes of all cultivators, a quasi-sage and a quasi-sage were two different existences. A quasi-sage stood high in the ninth heaven, looking down on the world, invincible. On the other hand, a quasi-sage was merely an ant on the ground. However, the appearance of Gu Fei overturned the understanding of all cultivators. It turned out that an ant could also challenge a giant dragon. This was the truth, not a joke. Even if some people didn't want to believe it, it had happened. And the protagonist of this matter, Gu Fei, sat in the secret chamber of the Yi clan for 10 days straight. In these 10 days, the outside world seemed calm, but in reality, undercurrents were everywhere. The Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave didn't make any big moves. The return of the barbaric Beast Lord and the Primal Chaos Demon Lord caused the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave to feel apprehensive. One must know that these two supreme beings of the barbaric wilderness knew the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave like the back of their hands. The humans of the barbaric wilderness also didn't make any moves. With tyrannical Shin King overseeing the Yi clan's ancient city, no one dared to provoke him. However, the current situation was dominated by the Buddhist sections. One had to know that the Buddhist sects had 3 supreme Buddhist weapons and 3 quasi-ascension existences overseeing Mount Meru. On the other hand, the human race, beast race, and demon race only had 2 quasi-sages, the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave. If they were to fight for real, even if the 3 parties joined forces, they wouldn't be a match for the Buddhist sect. As for the human race, the appearance of a Gu Fei caused everyone to feel apprehensive, especially the Buddhist sect. Great Monk Fa Tian knew that Gu Fei definitely didn't have a good impression of the Buddhist sect. The peace in the heavenly Buddha sect didn't last long. On a morning 10 days later, the door to Gu Fei's secret chamber opened and a figure walked out. Gu Fei had come out of seclusion. This time, his aura had changed a lot. His entire person was much more restrained. At first glance, he simply looked like an ordinary person. After 10 days of enlightenment, although Gu Fei's cultivation and strength didn't increase, his state of mind had improved a lot. His understanding of the heaven and earth Tao had also deepened. Quasi-sages were truly terrifying. Even after thousands of simulations, Gu Fei still couldn't see the profound meaning of the Tao from the Primal Chaos Demon Lord's killing technique. Experts who could sever their Tao would cultivate a Tao that was most suitable for them. Moreover, it was unique. Only the Primal Chaos Demon Lord could understand the Tao of the Primal Chaos Demon Lord. Gu Fei almost walked into a dead end. Rather than peeping at the Tao of others, he might as well comprehend his own Tao. With this enlightenment, his path to becoming an expert became even more resolute. He didn't intend to stop. He directly left the ancient human city and came to the vicinity of Mount Meru. For the next few days, Gu Fei lingered around Mount Meru. He used the heaven and earth energy to isolate his aura. No one could sense his presence. On this day, a golden light rushed out from the peak of Mount Meru and flew towards the Primal Chaos Dragon Cave. In the blink of an eye, it disappeared into the horizon. Primal Chaos Demon Lord! After seeing the golden light, Gu Fei's eyes instantly emitted a dazzling light. He directly used the 8 Desolation Void step and chased after it. Please share. Chapter 1546. The Chaos Dragon Cave was once one of the 3 most powerful forces in the wildlands. It once produced a true dragon of the extreme Tao and stood on equal footing with the Beast Emperor Mountain and the wildlands Ghost Domain. However, this powerful force with a true Tao inheritance was now in a terrible predicament because of a quasi-saint beast. What made all the ancient demons in the Chaos Dragon Cave depressed was that this quasi-saint beast used to be their lord. The Chaos Demon Lord used to rule the demon race in the wildlands. Even the ancient Pen, ancient Qilin, and other powerful ancient demons had to listen to her. Back then, the Chaos Demon Lord was the supreme emperor of the Chaos Dragon Cave. No ancient demon dared to disobey her orders. But now, the emperor of the Chaos Dragon Cave was no longer recognized by the ancient demons of the Chaos Dragon Cave because their demon lord had actually converted to Buddhism. However, the Chaos Demon Lord was still the strongest demon in the wildlands. As a quasi-saint, she knew everything in the Chaos Dragon Cave like the back of her hand. The ancient Ping and the other ancient demons did not dare to let their guard down. They activated the extreme Tao formation of the Chaos Dragon Cave to block the Chaos Demon Lord outside. If the Chaos Demon Lord entered the Chaos Dragon Cave, it would definitely be a terrible disaster for the demon race. No one in the Chaos Dragon Cave was a match for the Chaos Demon Lord. The Chaos Demon Lord would regain control of the Chaos Dragon Cave. Swoosh! At this moment, a ray of golden light flew over from the sky. A loud shout immediately rang out from the Chaos Dragon Cave. A terrifying energy ripple spread out from the Chaos Dragon Cave. Rumble! The entire Chaos Dragon Cave shook. Extreme Tao Dragon Chi rose. Tens of thousands of dragon shadows rushed out from the pitch-black hole. Endless extreme Tao formation runes appeared. With the arrival of the golden light, the extreme Tao energy in the Chaos Dragon Cave was awakened. It was as if a true dragon of the extreme Tao was awakening in the black hole that was spewing chaotic dragon chi. At this moment, the golden light that flew over from afar dissipated. A beautiful woman with golden light flowing around her body appeared. This woman was the Chaos Demon Lord. She had arrived near the Chaos Dragon Cave. However, the extreme Tao energy in the Chaos Dragon Cave had awakened. Even someone as powerful as the Chaos Demon Lord did not dare to approach. One must know that this was the extreme Tao energy. Sky Ping Qilin, quickly open the formation and let me in! The Chaos Demon Lord sent a voice transmission to the Chaos Dragon Cave. She wanted to return to the Chaos Dragon Cave, but no one responded, as if they couldn't hear her at all. Preposterous! The Chaos Demon Lord was infuriated. She was the Demon Lord of the desolate demon race, yet she was betrayed by her subordinates. This caused the Demon Lord of this generation to feel incomparably furious. To be able to become a quasi-sage, the primal Chaos Demon Lord was definitely a ruthless character. She sat down in the void and began to channel her mystic arts, intending to use her supreme mystic arts to open up the extreme Tao Great Formation. Rumble! The entire extreme Tao Grand Array trembled. Demon Lord Hun Du wanted to use his own strength to stop the extreme Tao Grand Array. She used a trace of the extreme Tao Grand Array's power. However, just as the extreme path formation began to tremble, an even more powerful energy rippled out from the Chaos Dragon Cave. The entire extreme path formation immediately began to operate rapidly. The Chaos Demon Lord used her mystic arts to activate the power of the extreme Tao Grand Array in an attempt to take control of the extreme Tao Grand Array. However, the ancient demon in the Chaos Dragon Cave did not agree to it. The vast and mighty chaotic dragon Chi instantly severed the connection between the extreme Tao Grand Array and the Chaos Demon Lord. At this moment, a figure walked over from afar. He strolled leisurely and soon arrived in front of the Chaos Demon Lord. He looked at the Chaos Demon Lord with a smile. Swoosh! The Chaos Demon Lord immediately stood up when she saw this person. Her beautiful eyes flickered with sharpness, and a chilling murderous intent filled the air. I didn't think that you would dare to appear in front of me. The Chaos Demon Lord's tone was extremely cold, as if she was looking at a dead person. The young cultivator opposite her couldn't help but feel shocked. Humph, why wouldn't I dare to appear in front of you? The newcomer sneered. Although the other party was a quasi-sage, the newcomer wasn't afraid at all. His face was calm, but no one knew what he was thinking under his calm expression. Since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. The primal Chaos Demon Lord had been feeling stifled and didn't know how to vent her anger. Now that this person had arrived, a terrifying power suddenly exploded from her body. With a schwa sound, a pair of golden wings spread out from her back. Buzz! The void trembled. Golden Tao runes rushed out from the Chaos Demon Lord's body and branded in all directions before disappearing into the void. The newcomer couldn't help but be shocked when he saw this scene. This Chaos Demon Lord actually used Tao runes to seal the entire void to prevent him from escaping. This young cultivator was Gu Fei, who had been chasing after the Chaos Demon Lord. At this moment, many figures appeared in the Chaos Dragon Cave. Some ancient demons were dumbfounded when they sensed Gu Fei's arrival. This human really doesn't know what's good for him. The ancient demons in the Chaos Dragon Cave were still not optimistic about Gu Fei's chances. Previously, Gu Fei was already very lucky to be able to escape from the Chaos Demon Lord. This time, the Chaos Demon Lord had already sealed the surrounding void and cut off all of Gu Fei's escape routes. Gu Fei couldn't escape even if he wanted to. No one believed that an almighty could break through the void that was sealed by a quasi-sage Great Tao demon runes. The entire void had already turned into an invisible cage. "You're dead this time." A cruel smile appeared on the Chaos Demon Lord's beautiful face. There was no room for mercy in the cultivation world. Even in the Buddhist sects, there were arhats who could subdue demons. Although the Chaos Demon Lord admired Gu Fei's courage, such a heaven-defying character couldn't be allowed to grow. He had to be nipped in the bud. "Not necessarily," Gu Fei laughed. Even the extreme Tao formation couldn't trap him, let alone a quasi-sage's Great Tao demon runes. Of course, the current situation was different from the time he was in the extreme Tao formation. In this place, it was difficult for him to awaken the power of the extreme Tao's sacred weapon. "Die!" The Chaos Demon Lord couldn't be bothered to say more. She immediately attacked. Her jade-like hands turned into a sky full of palm shadows that enveloped the entire sky. Every palm shadow was faint and illusory, as though it was an illusion. The terrifying power crushed the void between the heavens and earth, displaying its terrifying might. Phew! Gu Fei didn't care about the layers of palm shadows in front of him. All he did was throw a punch. There were no ripples of energy, nor were there any Tao patterns on his fist. However, his punch seemed to follow the trajectory of the Great Tao. The entire sky and earth shook along with his fist. Please share. Chapter 1547. Gu Fei challenged the Chaos Demon Lord once again. In the eyes of the Chaos Dragon Cave's ancient demons, this was undoubtedly suicide. The Chaos Demon Lord had sealed the void of the heavens and earth. Even a half-saint would find it hard to escape, let alone an almighty. This human race almighty was undoubtedly in a desperate situation. Swish! The Chaos Demon Lord didn't want to waste any more time with Gu Fei. She immediately attacked. A pair of slender hands instantly turned into countless palms that bombarded towards Gu Fei. Every palm shadow was faint and illusory. An ordinary person naturally wouldn't be able to see through the Chaos Demon Lord's move. However, Gu Fei wasn't an ordinary person. Under the scanning of the martial path Heavenly Eye, the layers of palm shadows disappeared. In front of Gu Fei's martial path Heavenly Eye, only a pair of palms slapped towards him. Huff! Gu Fei's punch seemed like a casual punch. There weren't any shocking energy fluctuations, nor was there any dazzling radiance. It was just an ordinary punch. However, Gu Fei's punch seemed to follow the trajectory of the Great Tao. As he punched out, the entire heavens and earth shook. The Great Tao energy of the heavens and earth was drawn and frantically gathered towards his fist. What? The Chaos Demon Lord was shocked. She never expected Gu Fei to be able to throw out such a punch. This punch displayed his understanding of the Great Tao of the heavens and earth, drawing the Great Tao energy of the heavens and earth for his own use. Although this punch of Gu Fei seemed ordinary, it was an extremely powerful punch. With this punch, the heavens and earth seemed to be on the verge of collapsing. Bam! The thousands of palm shadows disappeared. The Chaos Demon Lord's slender hands collided with Gu Fei's right fist, emitting a dull thud. Great Tao demon marks appeared on the Chaos Demon Lord's hands. The Great Tao energy instantly erupted and clashed with the Great Tao energy on Gu Fei's fist. A battle at this level was extremely dangerous. Once one was injured by the opponent's energy of the Grand Tao, then it would be extremely difficult to recover, and it might even leave behind future injuries that would affect one's cultivation. The two of them were locked in a stalemate for a while. Gu Fei let out a muffled groan as he was sent flying backwards. Both of his arms exploded and turned into a bloody mist. The other party's power of the Great Path was incredibly powerful, and it was difficult for him to contend against it. "You won't be so lucky this time!" The Chaos Demon Lord immediately chased after him. The golden wings on her back flapped continuously, and rays of resplendent golden light flew out from her back, piercing towards Gu Fei in front of her. Every ray of golden light was a demonic mark, and they contained terrifying divine laws of the Great Path. If they were hit, even a saint would be injured. This was an attack of Tao power. One must know that the Chaos Demon Lord was a demi-sage, and was infinitely close to becoming a demonic sage. He already had some of the aura of a demonic sage, and was only a step away from attaining the Tao. "I still can't beat him." Gu Fei spat out a mouthful of blood. This time, his injuries were not light. At this moment, countless rays of golden light had already pierced towards him. However, at this critical moment, a ball of divine light surged out from Gu Fei's body and enveloped him. Swoosh! A powerful force erupted from Gu Fei's body. This force directly tore through the void of the heavens and earth that was sealed by the Chaos Demon Lord, and he once again escaped into the void. What? This time, the Chaos Demon Lord was truly shocked. How could his opponent actually break through the void that she had sealed with the demonic marks of the Great Path? Although it was hard to believe, the truth was right before her eyes. Roar! The Chaos Demon Lord retracted the golden divine light formed from her feathers and roared angrily towards the sky. Her voice shook the 9 heavens. She was furious. This was the second time that her opponent had escaped from her hands. However, she still could not do anything and could only watch as her opponent escaped. Swoosh! The teleportation array in the ancient human city lit up again. A figure fell out of the void. This time, Batian Shen King did not appear. Even the Yi clan disciples guarding the teleportation array had disappeared. This time, Gu Fei's injuries were not light. His arms were invaded by the Chaos Demon Lord's Tao power. His arms could not withstand the power and turned into a mist of blood. His injuries were attached with the opponent's Tao power. It was difficult for Gu Fei to recover. He entered the secret chamber and began to heal. This kind of injury caused by Tao power was very difficult to heal. If an ordinary person was injured by Tao power, they would not be able to recover and would suffer endless torture. However, Gu Fei was not afraid. The resources he possessed were unmatched by any other cultivator. He directly entered his own inner world. This piece of divine land was surrounded by spiritual qi. Every place here was much better than those grotto heavens in the human world. This was a sacred place suitable for cultivators to cultivate. After Gu Fei entered his inner world, he directly walked into the depths of this world and came to the side of a divine spring of life. The breath of life from this divine spring made all the pores on his body relax. The rich life essence automatically drilled into his body. Without hesitation, Gu Fei directly jumped into the divine spring of life in front of him and disappeared in the divine spring of life. This time, Gu Fei stayed in the divine spring of life for more than 10 days before the Tao energy that invaded his body was gradually erased. As the Tao energy that invaded his body was erased, Gu Fei's body was tempered to become even stronger. Over the past 10 days, the endless life essence had been constantly cleansing his body. His arms had been completely repaired and they were even stronger than before he was injured. The Tao patterns that were imprinted on the solid body constantly emitted Tao power. The chaotic energy in his dantian was also condensed. Gradually, countless Tao patterns wrapped around Gu Fei, forming a cocoon. The power of the Great Path was vast and mighty in his inner force. It was as if a Tao embryo was being born. Above the divine spring of life, there was a vague divine sound of the Great Path that resonated with the Great Path. This strange phenomenon only lasted for more than 10 days. Then, the divine sound of the Great Path stopped. The Tao patterns that surrounded Gu Fei's body also retracted into his body. Gu Fei's body floated up from the depths of the divine spring of life. Splash! With a splash, Gu Fei broke out of the divine spring of life. Then, he stood beside the divine spring. A powerful aura emanated from his body. After this tempering, his martial body had taken another step forward. A powerful force filled every inch of his muscles, making him feel as if he was filled with power. Roar! Gu Fei roared at the sky. The entire inner world shook, causing all the creatures in the world to be terrified. This time, he had gained a lot. At the very least, his martial body had been tempered to become more powerful. However, his cultivation level was still at the fifth heaven of Almighty. After Gu Fei came out of the inner world, he immediately received a piece of news. Tian was about to set up the Buddhist teleportation matrix that could connect people across worlds. Am I going to leave from here? Gu Fei muttered to himself. He was finally going to return to the human realm. Please share. Chapter 1548. On the square of the ancient human city. Wu Fei Zhongwen. From time to time, rays of divine light would shoot out from the net. Tian had been concentrating on the Buddhist path's great guiding array. For the past half a month, he hadn't rested at all. He had expended a large amount of divine materials, some of which were extremely rare in the world, but he had wasted them, turning them into a pile of dust. After half a month's worth of research, Tian had finally figured out the operating state of the great guiding array. He began to inscribe more formation runes on the divine materials. Tian had reached a crucial point. Even the heavenly tyrant Shen King was standing at the side of the square, paying close attention to his progress. The Yi clan's upper echelons were incomparably nervous. If they could control the heavenly Buddha path's array, the heavenly Buddha path wouldn't be able to trap them anymore. After being trapped in the wilderness for so many years, they were about to return to the true great heaven and earth. All the wilderness humans were extremely excited. No one was willing to be bound by a small great heaven and earth for life. Only the true great heaven and earth was the home of an expert. In order to become a paragon, one had to conquer the 3 worlds and 6 Daos. An extreme Dao paragon could only be born in the true great heaven and earth. During this period of time, Gu Fei's injuries had completely healed. Coming out from his inner world, he didn't pay much attention to Tian's progress. He directly left the ancient human city. This time, he didn't find a quasi-saint to challenge alone. This time, he wanted a great battle. A small number of experts from the Beast Sovereign Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave submitted to the Savage Beast Lord and Chaos Demon Lord. Among these ancient beasts and demons, there were even powerful half-saints. Gu Fei stood guard outside Mount Meru. He didn't attack the ordinary Buddhists, instead, he waited patiently. After waiting for several days, there was no movement from Mount Meru. On the 8th day, a figure finally rushed out from Mount Meru. When Gu Fei saw that figure, he was instantly invigorated. He immediately chased after it. It was a great demonic beast with a powerful half-saint cultivation. Since there was an insurmountable gap between him and the sage-to-be, Gu Fei set his sights on the sage-to-be. Where is the tiger going? Flying at high speed ahead was a tiger demon. This tiger demon was different from ordinary tiger demons. It was an ancient demon that had cultivated to the half-step saint realm. Gu Fei carefully followed behind the tiger demon. The tiger demon did not notice anything strange at all. Soon, they were thousands of miles away. The tiger demon was very careful. It seemed to be afraid of being followed. From time to time, it would suddenly stop or suddenly rush into the forest below. It would only come out after a while. After confirming that no one was chasing after it, the tiger demon continued to move forward. An hour later, the tiger demon entered a large mountain. Gu Fei followed the tiger demon from a distance. He was very curious as to why the tiger demon would come to this barren mountain. What was his motive? Soon, the tiger demon entered a valley. Gu Fei carefully followed it. He sensed a few powerful auras in the valley. Gu Fei carefully snuck into the valley and hid behind the rocks. Then, he looked into the valley and saw that after the tiger demon entered the valley, 3 figures surrounded by demonic auras quickly came out to greet it. When Gu Fei saw this scene, he could not help but be surprised. There were actually 3 great demons waiting for the tiger in this valley. This tiger was one of the experts of the demon race that had sought refuge with the Chaos Demon Lord. Even among the demon race, the cultivation of a half-saint was one of the top experts. Brother Tiger, you're finally here. The three of us have been waiting for you for more than 10 days. Among the three great demons, a tall and skinny man said to the tiger demon. The three Xianlong brothers are indeed loyal. The tiger demon was overjoyed to see that the other party did not miss the appointment. What Xianlong? It's just 3 black flood dragons. Gu Fei snickered in his heart. The 3 great demons that came out of the valley were black flood dragons. However, the 3-headed black flood dragons' cultivation base and strength were also very shocking. They were actually at the peak of the almighty realm. This caused Gu Fei to be secretly shocked. Could it be that such a great demon wanted to escape from the Chaos Dragon Cave? The tiger demon was a subordinate of the Chaos Demon Lord. Gu Fei had already vaguely guessed something. Brother Tiger saved our lives in the past. Of course, we 3 brothers will follow your lead, the tall and skinny man said. His 2 brothers also agreed. Yes, we will always remember Brother Tiger's great kindness. A short and fat middle-aged man wearing a green robe said. The 3 black flood dragons had all turned into human figures and were dressed like Taoists. Those who did not know the truth would think that the 3 of them were the legendary true immortals. Let's talk inside, the tiger demon said and walked into the depths of the valley with the 3 great demons. There was a pavilion there with a small stream flowing in front of it. The scenery in the depths of the valley was not bad. These guys really know how to enjoy themselves. Gu Fei couldn't help feeling a little surprised when he saw this. These greater demons were actually experts, which made him feel a little strange. After all, these fellows weren't humans. A demonic half-saint and 3 almighty demons. Very good. Gu Fei's figure disappeared on the spot. Brother Tiger, when we left the Chaos Dragon Cave this time, we were discovered by Tianping. He chased us out and almost never saw you again. After sitting down in the pavilion, the 4 great demons began to talk. Something like that actually happened? The tiger demon was shocked to hear this. He had secretly instigated the 3 Xianlong brothers to betray him. This was something that absolutely no one knew, but Tianping actually found out. Fortunately, the 3 Xianlong brothers cultivated a great mystique that allowed them to escape from Tianping at the critical moment. Tianping was extremely powerful and was an expert second only to the Chaos Demon Lord in the Chaos Dragon Cave. After the Chaos Demon Lord was expelled from the Chaos Dragon Cave, Tianping became the strongest ancient demon in the Chaos Dragon Cave. The 3 Xianlong brothers were extremely lucky to be able to escape from Tianping. The tiger demon and the 3 Xianlong brothers were talking in the pavilion. Just as they were about to leave, a person suddenly appeared in the valley. What? The tiger demon and the 3 Xianlong brothers were shocked. They actually did not sense this person's arrival. This made them feel uneasy. Could it be that this person's cultivation was higher than theirs? It's you? When the tiger demon saw the appearance of the person, he was shocked again. This person was actually the human almighty who dared to challenge the Chaos Demon Lord. The 4 great demons in the pavilion stood up abruptly. Monstrous demonic aura erupted. With a boom, the entire pavilion was sent high into the sky by the demonic aura from the 4 great demons. Chapter 1549. Date: November 12th. Gu Fei tailed the tiger demon under the Chaos Demon Lord and arrived at a valley, where he blocked the indestructible martial lord of the 4 demon clans who were making contact. The 4 demon clans all had powerful backgrounds. The tiger demon was a demi-sage demon clan while the 3 Xian dragon brothers were pinnacle almighties. With such a force, even in the heaven realm, they could conquer a territory and become the overlord of a region. You're courting death! The tiger demon roared angrily as demonic power surged from his body. A powerful demi-sage aura surged from his body, causing the entire void to tremble. The indestructible martial lord. Gu Fei stared coldly at the tiger demon in front of him and said, "Who's courting death? Brother Tiger, how about us brothers pluck off his head and give it to you?" The eldest of the 3 Xian dragon brothers said as a cold, murderous aura surged from his body. "Be careful! The tiger demon warned the three Xian dragon brothers before taking 2 steps back. He wanted to let the three Xian dragon brothers test out this human almighty first. The demi-sage demon was very careful. To be able to become a demi-sage demon clan, one must be extremely talented. Otherwise, they would not have such cultivation and strength. Humph! He's just a 5th heaven almighty, and he dares to appear in front of us. The second of the three Xian dragon brothers said sinisterly. Swoosh! A pair of black dragon head scissors appeared in the hands of the eldest of the three Xian dragon brothers. This was a magical weapon that the three Xian dragon brothers had cultivated, and it was called the Black Dragon Scissors. The second of the three Xian dragon brothers held a heavenly halberd in his hands. This was an almighty divine weapon. The pitch-black halberd was engraved with demonic patterns. This was the famous mysterious dragon halberd of the demon clan. This famous demon clan divine weapon had once tasted the blood of a pinnacle almighty. A pinnacle almighty had been impaled to death by this halberd. The third brother of the Xian dragon clan did not have any weapons in his hands. However, Gu Fei could sense a dangerous aura from his body. The three great demons charged towards Gu Fei together. Their powerful auras pressured Gu Fei to the point of suffocation. These were 3 pinnacle existences. In the heaven realm, such an existence was enough to be called an emperor. Kill the indestructible martial highness! Without any hesitation, Gu Fei left an afterimage on the spot and pounced towards the 3 powerful demons in front of him. Swoosh! 2 beams of black light shot out from the black dragon scissors in the hands of the black dragon boss at almost the same time, transforming into 2 black dragons that intertwined and charged towards Gu Fei. Almighty divine weapon? Gu Fei immediately waved his fist and smashed towards the 2 dragon silhouettes. On his fist, the chaotic true power surged, and the 2 dragon silhouettes were smashed apart. Bam! Gu Fei's fist smashed fiercely onto the black dragon's scissors. The ferocious fist force exploded in an instant. The black dragon boss only felt his hands shake, and the black dragon's scissors in his hands flew out. A sharp pain spread from his hands to his brain. What? The black dragon boss was taken aback. He did not expect the other party's fist to be so powerful. The power contained in the fist was so strong that it caused his hands to break apart. Before the second and third brothers of the mysterious dragon clan could react, Gu Fei's fist had already smashed into the chest of the first brother of the mysterious dragon clan. Bam! The black dragon boss's entire body was smashed into pieces. 1,000 feet long black dragon roared. The black dragon boss had been beaten back to his original form. The huge black dragon's corpse fell from the sky, and the void seemed to be raining blood. Boss! The second and third brothers of the Black Dragon clan had never imagined that their eldest brother's physical body would be destroyed by this human mighty figure just like that. Moreover, even their eldest brother's primordial spirit could not escape. In other words, the Black Dragon boss's body and primordial spirit had actually been destroyed by a human almighty being who was only at the 5th heaven of almighty cultivation. He killed the boss. The Black Dragon brother's hands, which were hidden in his sleeves, were revealed. They were a pair of dragon claws covered with pitch-black dragon scales. This was a sign that he was about to transform into a dragon. Among the Black Dragon brothers, the Black Dragon boss was not the strongest. The strongest was actually the third brother. Although the serpent had the word dragon in its name, it was not a dragon. It was not easy for the black serpent to transform into a dragon. The third brother of the Black Dragon brothers had clearly taken that step. You deserve to die! The Black Dragon brother seemed to have gone mad. The black dragon halberd in his hand emitted a blinding black light and pierced towards Gu Fei. It was as if a black dragon had come to life in his hand. This divine weapon actually emitted a trace of dragon might. Humph! Gu Fei laughed coldly. His martial body was incomparably strong. He directly went forward and grabbed the black dragon halberd. Then, he exerted force and with a snap, the black dragon halberd was actually broken by him. Pfft! Gu Fei instantly rushed forward and stabbed the halberd into the Black Dragon brother's chest. Boom! At this moment, the void trembled. A pitch-black dragon claw tore through the void and grabbed towards Gu Fei. A terrifying dragon chi was emitting from it. Gu Fei's battle intent surged and his blood was boiling. He directly struck out with his palm and blocked the black dragon claw. Then, he raised his leg and kicked the head of the black dragon brother who was trying to retreat, causing it to explode. He was a martial artist. His close combat skills had reached the point of perfection. Anyone who got close to him would be in danger. Indestructible, martial, honorable. What was a martial artist best at? It was close-quarters combat. In the ancient times, martial artists were not extinct yet. All cultivators, be it the demon clan or the demons, did not dare to let a martial artist with a high level of cultivation get close to them. Once a martial artist with a high level of cultivation got close to them, it meant death. The black dragon brother was also dead. His head was crushed by Gu Fei's kick. His primordial spirit could not escape. Another demon clan pinnacle power was killed. Gu Fei easily killed the two demon clan pinnacle power in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, the tiger demon in the distance wanted to help, but it was too late. Roar! A tiger's roar shook the heavens and the earth. The shadow of a ferocious tiger appeared between the heavens and the earth. A gust of strong wind blew the sand and rocks in the valley. The tiger demon was shocked and angry. His opponent's combat strength was really so heaven-defying that he could kill two demon clan pinnacle power in an instant. This was a miracle. Rumble! The tiger demon made his move. A huge shadow of a ferocious tiger pounced down from the sky. A pair of tiger claws grabbed at Gu Fei. The strong power of a half-sage caused the void to tremble and collapse. The demon clan half-sage made his move. It was different from the black dragon brothers. The half-sage drew the Tao energy from the heavens and earth. It was as though the heavens and earth were crushing down on Gu Fei. Gu Fei forced the black dragon brother to retreat. The martial Tao energy in his body was circulating crazily. He struck out with the yin-yang reincarnation fist. The pure yang energy bloomed on his right fist. Boom! Amidst an earth-shattering sound, Gu Fei's fist collided with the tiger demon's claws. The two powerful forces collided with the indestructible martial lord. Gu Fei only felt that the two tiger claws were as heavy as a primordial divine mountain. Under the impact of the tiger demon's power, cracks appeared on his right fist, and blood began to seep out with a bloody glow. Bam! The ground beneath Gu Fei's feet exploded. Both his feet sank into the ground. The entire ground undulated like waves, trembling from the impact. Roar! Gu Fei let out a roar. His right fist, which was blocking the tiger demon's claws, emitted a dazzling radiance. It was as though a divine sun had appeared in the valley. The pure yang energy was exploding continuously. What? The black dragon brother was dumbfounded. This human was actually able to block the tiger demon's furious attack. This was unbelievable. The tiger demon was a half-sage of the demon clan. The black dragon brother couldn't accept the fact that two of the three black dragon brothers had died in such a short period of time. The black dragon brother had already retreated far away when the tiger demon made his move. The strength of a half-sage was not something that he could withstand. Even if it was released, it would take his life. Is this human really that strong? It was impossible for the experts of the demon clan in the Chaos Dragon Cave not to know about Gu Fei's challenge to the primal Chaos Demon Lord. However, only a few of the higher-ups of the demon clan had seen Gu Fei in action. The others had never seen Gu Fei challenge the primal Chaos Demon Lord. Some people didn't believe this at all. They thought that it was an exaggeration or that there was no such thing. One had to know that there was no comparison between a fifth heavenly layer mighty expert and a half-sage. A half-sage could kill a fifth heavenly layer mighty expert countless times over with a single finger. The one who was the most shocked was the tiger demon. His strength was actually blocked by the other party. This was something that had never happened before. How could a mighty expert have such combat strength? Destroy the invincible martial lord! A dazzling divine light shone from Gu Fei's body. The primal chaos force turned into the yin-yang force. The yin-yang true force circulated in his body. The two forces intertwined, collided, and fused again. The changes in the two forces caused the two forces to rise continuously. Kill! Gu Fei roared furiously. Divine patterns of the Great Path appeared on his right fist, and an even more powerful force rushed out from his fist. The two tiger claws that were blocking Gu Fei's fist were crumbling. What? The tiger demon's expression changed. How could his opponent's strength be so strong? This was beyond his imagination. A fifth heavenly layer mighty expert definitely didn't have such strength. You want to compete with me in strength? Gu Fei's fist shone with a million rays of light, shattering the tiger claws. He shot into the sky and headed for the tiger demon's real body with unparalleled strength. Anyone would find it hard to stay calm when faced with such a monster. Whoosh! The tiger demon retreated. Gu Fei's attack was too fierce. Moreover, his opponent's battle techniques were extremely terrifying. He definitely couldn't let his opponent get close to him. Once he did, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, Gu Fei had the fastest movement technique in the world. He used the 8 desolate void steps and seemed to have entered the void, raising his speed to the extreme. He took a few steps and caught up to the tiger demon. Then, his entire spiritual force was raised to the extreme as he punched the tiger demon. Chapter 1550. The invincible martial saint's battle prowess was heaven-defying. Gu Fei's battle prowess was heaven-defying. After consecutively killing the eldest and second brother of the 3 mystical dragon brothers, he immediately went up against the half-sage demon. This was a ferocious primordial tiger that had attained the Tao and cultivated to become a half-sage demon. His cultivation was extremely powerful, but when faced against Gu Fei's martial arts and battle techniques, the ancient demon had no choice but to be cautious. Eat my fist! Gu Fei's aura instantly soared to its peak as he threw a powerful punch at the tiger demon. This punch contained all of his essence, chi, and spirit. As the punch was thrown, the entire space in front of it trembled. Boom! Unable to withstand the powerful force that erupted from Gu Fei's fist, the entire space collapsed and shattered, turning into a terrifying destructive force that surged towards the tiger demon. Roar! The tiger demon let out a furious roar and no longer retreated. He slammed his tiger claws forward, and an extremely terrifying demonic force surged from his claws. Tiger stripes appeared on the tiger claws. Each stripe emitted a dazzling divine light, as if they had charged out from the tiger demon's claws. Bam! Gu Fei's fist collided fiercely with the tiger claws. This time, he had directly collided with the tiger demon's body, and a powerful force was transmitted from the tiger demon's claws. Thud! 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 Gu Fei could not control his body and was knocked a few steps back by the force. With every step he took, the space beneath his feet would tremble, and ripples of space could be seen spreading from his feet. A powerful force wreaked havoc between Gu Fei and the tiger demon, forcing the tiger demon to take 3 or 4 steps back from the impact. He was shocked to the extreme. It seemed that this human cultivator was truly heaven-defying, to be able to fight evenly with him. After all, he was a half-sage, while this guy was only a 5th-layer human cultivator. Tiger devours heaven and earth! The tiger demon shook its body and transformed into its true form. A savage yellow tiger appeared between heaven and earth. This was an ancient beast that was even taller than a mountain ridge. Roar! The tiger demon roared at the sky and opened its mouth at Gu Fei. A heaven-devouring force erupted from the tiger's mouth, wanting to devour Gu Fei in one gulp. Gu Fei only felt his body tighten as he was enveloped by the heaven-devouring force that came from the tiger's mouth. His entire body flew towards the tiger's mouth. Humph! You want to swallow me whole? Gu Fei allowed the heaven-devouring force to pull him into the tiger's mouth, and didn't resist at all. Without any suspense, Gu Fei was swallowed by the tiger demon. Then, the power of a half-step saint realm condensed in the tiger demon's body. He wanted to refine Gu Fei. He killed this human cultivator named Gu Fei just like that. In the distance, the third of the 3 Xianlong brothers was dumbfounded. Just a moment ago, His eldest and second brothers had been beaten to death by this human. How could an expert who could kill two pinnacle experts in an instant be defeated by the tiger demons so easily? The third of the three Xian dragon brothers felt a little uneasy. Ha ha! The ferocious tiger shook its body and transformed into a middle-aged man. This middle-aged man laughed heartily. He didn't expect that he would be able to make such a great contribution on this trip. Killing Gu Fei was equivalent to removing a huge threat for the Chaos Demon Lord. Ha! However, at this moment, the tiger demon's expression changed. He realized that Gu Fei, who he had swallowed into his stomach, was still alive. How is this possible? The tiger demon couldn't believe that the human cultivator he had swallowed into his stomach hadn't been destroyed by the demonic power condensed in his body. This was something that had never happened before. Even an opponent who was also a half-step saint would only last for a short while after being swallowed into his stomach before being refined by him in the end. However, the tiger demon realized that his half-step saint realm power couldn't break through the layer of divine light around his opponent's body, let alone refine this human. Swallow me into your stomach? You're courting death! Gu Fei's voice resounded in the tiger demon's mind. This scared the hell out of him. Not only was his opponent not refined, but he was also not threatened at all. You! The fact that his opponent was unharmed shocked the tiger demon to the extreme. Bam! Gu Fei threw a punch. The violent fist force wreaked havoc in the tiger demon's body. This punch almost shattered the tiger demon's internal organs. Roar! The tiger demon roared in pain. His body had suffered a great impact. Gu Fei's punch just now had almost pierced through his body. Swoosh! The tiger demon's glabella suddenly split open. Then, a demonic light rushed out from the glabella and entered his stomach. A middle-aged man with monstrous demonic aura appeared in the tiger demon's body. Kill! The tiger demon used the primordial spirit technique and formed another version of himself. He rushed into his body and wanted to kill Gu Fei, who was causing trouble in his body. Tiger stripes rushed out from the middle-aged man's hands. Every tiger stripe was emitting the divine sound of the Great Path. This was the power of the Great Path that had turned into a supreme killing move. Humph! Gu Fei sneered. He sat cross-legged in the void and his chaotic true power quickly gathered in his glabella. His glabella emitted a purple-golden divine light. Swoosh! A purple-golden sword rushed out from Gu Fei's glabella and crushed the countless tiger stripes that were rushing at him. It even killed the middle-aged man that the tiger demon had conjured. Chapter 1551. Boom! A loud explosion was heard. A bloody mist appeared in the sky as a terrifying power exploded out. The power that descended from the sky caused the ground to tremble. The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect was dumbfounded when he saw this. A half-sage's physical body had been destroyed by someone else? No one would believe such a thing even if it was told to others. Who would believe that a semi-sage's body would explode because of a person who was only at the fifth heaven of Almighty Realm? A figure walked out from the bloody mist. It's over! The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect turned around and fled without hesitation. What a joke! This freak could even kill a half-sage. If I don't leave now, I'll be waiting for him to kill me. The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect didn't want to take revenge anymore. He needed strength to do so. Without strength, it wouldn't be revenge, but death. However, Gu Fei wouldn't let the third brother of the mysterious dragon sect leave so easily. Swoosh! He stepped forward in the air using the 8 desolate void steps. With a single step, he caught up to the third brother of the mysterious dragon sect and attacked without hesitation. The yin-yang reincarnation fist shook the heavens and the earth. The black dragon sect's third brother turned pale with fright. Just as Gu Fei's fist was about to land on his back, his body suddenly became faint and illusory. Ha! Gu Fei was taken aback. The third brother's body seemed to have turned into thin air. He felt as if his punch had landed on thin air. The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect cultivated a secret technique, and tried to neutralize the force of Gu Fei's punch. However, the force of Gu Fei's punch wasn't that easy to neutralize. The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect was sent flying thousands of meters away as his body turned solid. Ugh! The third brother of the mysterious dragon sect spat out a mouthful of blood as his body suffered a huge blow. This human was too monstrous. This kind of strength shouldn't appear on Almighty. Gu Fei's battle prowess had already surpassed almighty beings and broken through the restraints of the almighty being realm. Just as Gu Fei sent the mysterious dragon third brother flying with a punch, the bloody mist behind him didn't dissipate. Instead, it rapidly converged towards the center. A figure appeared in the void. That person was the demonic race's demonic half-saint, the primordial ferocious tiger, whose body had been destroyed by Gu Fei's tyrannical power. It wasn't easy to kill a half-saint, and it required special methods to kill a half-saint. Gu Fei ignored the tiger demon behind him as he chased after the third brother of the mysterious dragon clan. With the 8 desolate void steps, the third brother of the mysterious dragon clan couldn't escape at all. Once Gu Fei used the 8 desolate void steps, he possessed the fastest speed in the world. Without any suspense, the moment Gu Fei used his yin-yang reincarnation fist, the third brother of the mysterious dragon clan was only able to block a few punches before he was smashed into smithereens by Gu Fei. Roar! You deserve to die! A roar came from behind Gu Fei. At this moment, the tiger demon had already completely restored his body. His demonic chi soared into the sky as he charged towards Gu Fei. A large flag appeared in the tiger demon's hand. He waved the flag fiercely with both hands, and a terrifying astral wind swept out from the flag. This astral wind was extremely powerful, and it even caused the void to shatter. It's your good fortune to die under my Tiger Emperor flag, the tiger demon said fiercely. When his body was destroyed by Gu Fei, he had consumed a lot of yuan qi. Reconstructing one's body was no ordinary divine ability. Tiger Emperor flag? Gu Fei couldn't help but find it funny. This wasn't a magic treasure refined by a half-saint, nor was it a true holy weapon. It was really laughable that the tiger demon wanted to kill him with just this thing. Let's see who will kill who! Gu Fei shouted and directly turned around to attack. His fists bloomed with yin-yang divine light, and a yin-yang Dao diagram appeared behind him. The yin and yang evolved, and the resulting power was incomparably terrifying. There seemed to be a world evolving between Gu Fei's fists. This was a manifestation of the great Tao. What? The tiger demon was a half-saint, so his knowledge was extraordinary. When he saw Gu Fei's combat strength, he couldn't help but be secretly shocked. Was this guy really only at the 5th heavenly layer? Rumble! The two forces collided. Gu Fei's fist hit the flag until it was on the verge of collapse. The astral wind from the flag couldn't even get close to Gu Fei's body. Damn it! The tiger demon frantically urged his demonic chi. All the Tao patterns on the Tiger Emperor flag lit up, triggering the great Tao of heaven and earth. A peerless and terrifying aura spread out from the Tiger Emperor flag. It's time to fight for real. Gu Fei's aura also skyrocketed. His body was shrouded in a layer of primal chaos divine light, but behind him, a yin-yang Tao diagram was faintly discernible. The martial Tao true force he cultivated was very marvelous. It could be transformed into yin-yang true force, and yin-yang true force could be transformed into 5 elements true force. One had to admit that the tiger demon was a good opponent. At least, in Gu Fei's opinion, engaging in a life-or-death battle with such an opponent was much better than taking the risk of challenging a half-saint. A true martial artist had to experience countless life-or-death battles in order to grow. Bang! Endless demonic chi surged out. A demon flag shook the world and shattered the void. The earth trembled, and many nearby mountains collapsed. The entire region was thrown into chaos. This was an evenly matched battle. The tiger demon's Tiger Emperor flag slaughtered everything in its path, but Gu Fei didn't show any weakness. His fist shattered the void, and the Tiger Emperor flag found it hard to suppress him. They fought as they moved, destroying everything in their path. The more the tiger demon fought, the more shocked he became. This human supreme expert was incredible. The more he fought, the fiercer he became. The power in his body seemed inexhaustible. Is this the battle power of a half-saint? This was the first time Gu Fei engaged in a true life-or-death battle with a half-saint. Moreover, it was with his own strength, without any external help. He didn't use an extreme sacred weapon, nor did he use his immortal Tao's sacred body avatar. This time, he was fighting with his own strength, contending against a demonic half-saint. The tiger demon was peerlessly powerful, standing at the peak of the cultivation world. In the entire cultivation world, there weren't many people who could defeat this demonic half-saint. Gu Fei could be proud of himself. He actually jumped levels to challenge a half-saint, and they were evenly matched. If it was an ordinary supreme expert, even a peak supreme expert would have been killed by this tiger demon. Bang! Gu Fei was swept away by the Tiger Emperor flag. His entire body flew away, and a trace of blood seeped out of his mouth. However, the moment he was swept by the Tiger Emperor flag, he also punched the tiger demon's chest. Gotcha! The tiger demon's chest immediately caved in. Gu Fei's fist was extremely powerful. The power of this punch was so great that even a mountain would explode. Good! Very good! Gu Fei stopped his retreat in the air and stabilized his body. Since the start of the battle, this was the first time he was beaten to the point of vomiting blood. Chapter 1552. The battle between Gu Fei and the half-step saint of the demon race shocked the tiger demon greatly. This was just a human cultivator at the 5th layer of the almighty realm. This was simply a miracle, a myth. A human cultivator at the 5th layer of the almighty realm could actually fight against a half-step saint. This was something that had never happened before. Could it be that this guy has talent comparable to a young extreme supreme? The tiger demon couldn't help but be shocked, because the battle strength that Gu Fei had displayed was really too amazing. Even the legendary Extreme Supreme was no better than this in their youth. Extreme Tao Supremacy was a legendary existence. Some people could become Extreme Tao Supremacy at a young age and display heaven-defying talent. However, this was not absolute. There were some Extreme Tao Supremes who, in their youth, kept a low profile and walked forward step by step, without much of a dazzling performance. However, in the end, they left everyone behind and cultivated the supreme Tao fruit. There was no doubt that this human almighty belonged to the former. He was extremely talented and had already shown off his talent at a young age. He had the aura of a sovereign. Kill! Such an existence could not be left alive. If he was allowed to grow, the demon race would be suppressed by him. At any time, only one sovereign could be born. Rumble! The Tiger Emperor flag shook violently, and a terrifying force spread out from it. The void was annihilated, the earth was shattered, and even the chaotic energy was hid out. The destructive energy swept towards Gu Fei in an earth-shattering manner. The tiger demon was going all out. He circulated his demonic power with all his might. Tiger stripes appeared on his body, and the Tiger Emperor flag in his hand burst out with a dazzling demonic light. This guy! Even Gu Fei was moved by the fact that a half-step saint of the demon race was going all out. He used the universal void steps and quickly retreated, but there was a great force pulling him towards the Tiger Emperor flag. What? Countless tiger stripes rushed out from the Tiger Emperor flag. These were the demonic stripes of the great Tao cultivated by the tiger demon. Countless demonic stripes interweaved, and the flag turned into a pitch-black hole. The tiger demon displayed its ultimate killing technique, wanting to swallow Gu Fei into an unknown void. This was a killing technique of the half-step saint level. Even the void was torn apart. The power of the great path was vast and mighty. Gu Fei was dragged by a heaven-devouring power into the black hole. Roar! Gu Fei roared. Divine patterns of the great path rushed out from his body. These were the patterns that he had cultivated, and they could condense the power of the great path and use it for himself. He wanted to rush out, but he found that his body seemed to be entangled by invisible Tao patterns. For a moment, he couldn't break through that great suction force. This guy. Gu Fei was taken aback, but he didn't hesitate to use one of the 9 secrets of immortal Tao, the Ascension's secret art. A peerlessly powerful aura erupted from his body. Boom! The void trembled, and a violent force swept across the world, directly breaking free from the suction force that enveloped him, and then shot up into the sky. The great hand covers the sky, Gu Fei roared, his voice shaking the heavens. A huge black hand covered the heavens and the earth as it slammed downwards, causing the void to collapse and the chaotic energy to be blasted out. The black hole formed by the Tiger Emperor flag was directly wiped out by the giant black hand. The tiger demon suffered a great impact and was sent flying tens of thousands of meters away, coughing up a mouthful of blood. How is this possible? The tiger demon's ferocious eyes revealed a trace of fear. The opponent's battle prowess had suddenly increased by 10 times. Such power was difficult to resist, not even a half-step saint. This power had already surpassed the shackles of the Almighty. This was a forbidden power that broke through the limits of cultivation. Could this be the legendary? The tiger demon was extremely shocked. Tiger demon was shocked to the extreme. This kind of power was so strong that even a half-step saint would find it hard to suppress it. Gu Fei's palm had seriously injured him. Roar! The tiger demon roared. His whole body was surging with demonic power, and the injuries on his body were healed in an instant. However, his expression was somewhat weary, and his momentum had weakened. If it wasn't for the protection of the Tiger Emperor flag, Gu Fei's palm would have destroyed his body. At this time, cracks appeared on the Tiger Emperor flag. The tiger demon was shocked again. The magic treasure that he had refined for countless years was destroyed by Gu Fei. The Tiger Emperor flag was a half-step saint divine weapon. Gu Fei's power was enough to resist a half-step saint divine weapon. Die! Gu Fei was like an invincible god of war descending from the 9th heaven. At this time, the essence, chi and spirit of his body had soared to a limit, beyond the limits of cultivation. Bang! He punched out, and the stars in the sky shook. The powerful fist energy shook the world, and the invincible fist intent made the world lose its color. Fight! Gu Fei's fist pushed forward like 100,000 ancient divine mountains, blocking all the tiger demon's escape routes. He punched out to force the tiger demon to fight him head-on. The tiger demon knew that he couldn't dodge this punch, so he had no other choice. At this moment, all the demonic power in his body was activated. Countless tiger stripes emerged on his body, and the power of the great Tao crazily gathered towards the Tiger Emperor flag in his hand. Countless demonic patterns rushed out of the flag. Roar! A tiger roar resounded, and the phantom of a primordial tiger emerged on the Tiger Emperor flag. A fierce aura spread out from the Tiger Emperor flag, sweeping across the world. Rumble! The power that erupted from the Tiger Emperor flag this time was too powerful. The fierce tiger seemed to want to rush out from the flag. The powerful force caused the entire void to crack and collapse. This was the terror of a half-step saint when he went all out. The wrath of a half-step saint was enough to destroy an area. The terrifying fluctuation spread out, alarming many experts, and some people quickly came to this area. Who's fighting? Such fluctuations, it's definitely a battle between half-step saints. The ancient beasts and ancient demons in the Beast Emperor Mountain and the chaotic dragon cave were all alarmed. Many powerful existences appeared near the battlefield, watching this battle. It's the tiger from the chaotic dragon cave. Didn't this tiger betray the chaotic dragon cave? Someone recognized the tiger demon's origin, and they were all extremely shocked. This tiger demon was a primordial tiger that had attained enlightenment and transformed into a human form. He was an expert in the chaotic dragon cave. However, the return of the Chaos Demon Lord caused the ancient demons in the chaotic dragon cave to be divided. A few ancient demons wanted to welcome the Chaos Demon Lord back. However, the Chaos Demon Lord had already converted to Buddhism, and most of the ancient demons were unwilling to serve the Chaos Demon Lord as the supreme of the demon race. Therefore, A few ancient demons in the Chaotic Dragon Cave left the Chaotic Dragon Cave and submitted to the Chaos Demon Lord. This Tiger Demon was the leader of the few ancient demons. The Tiger Demon was incomparably powerful, and even the ancient demons Heavenly Ping and Qilin were wary of him, unwilling to fight with him. In the end, they let him lead the few ancient demons out of the Chaotic Dragon Cave. Unexpectedly, at this time, this Tiger Demon was actually fighting with someone in the mountain, and the whole area was turned into ruins. It was incomparably terrifying. No experts dared to approach, and they all watched from afar. Rumble. At this moment, a ferocious tiger bigger than a mountain surged out from the Tiger Emperor flag in the Tiger Demon's hand, and an extremely fierce aura spread out. This was an incomparably powerful Tiger Emperor, and it directly pounced towards Gu Fei. This was a ferocious tiger formed from countless interweaving demon marks, and as it pounced, the whole world shook. Bang! Gu Fei threw a punch. It looked like a casual punch, but it contained boundless power and an indomitable and terrifying momentum. In the face of absolute power, any magical power or killing technique was useless. Gu Fei's punch directly blew up the head of this ferocious tiger formed from countless interweaving demon marks. There was no suspense. Under the invincible power of the Ascension secret technique, the Tiger Emperor flag was shattered, countless demon marks dispersed, and a magic treasure that had been refined by a half-step sage for countless years was directly destroyed. Bang! After the momentum of Gu Fei's punch smashed the Tiger Emperor flag, it did not reach its end. Half of the Tiger Demon's body turned into a bloody mist, and it was sent flying tens of thousands of feet away. What? In the distance, the people watching the battle were all dumbfounded. They never thought that the Tiger Demon would be defeated, and so miserably, with half of its body blown up. Who was this tiger? It was a half-step sage of the demon race, an existence that stood at the peak of the cultivation world, and was incomparably tyrannical, invincible under the quasi-sage realm. Who was this human? How could he defeat such an expert? Could it be that the heavenly tyrant Shin King personally took action? But that person was full of vitality, and he was young. He was definitely not the heavenly tyrant Shin King. An existence that had lived for countless years was easy to distinguish from an existence that had lived for hundreds of years. Even if one's appearance did not change, the traces of time would more or less appear on a person's body. In the eyes of some experts, Gu Fei was too young. "Eat another punch of mine!" Gu Fei shouted and threw another punch at the Tiger Demon. He used the 8 Desolation Void steps, which was the ultimate of the world. With just one step, he had already caught up with the flying Tiger Demon. No! The Tiger Demon roared in despair. Half of its body had already been smashed by this human expert. If this human punched it again, it was afraid that both its body and soul would be destroyed. But Gu Fei was decisive, without any hesitation. Boom! A black hole was punched through the void, and the remaining half of the Tiger Demon's body was smashed into dust under his fist. Not even a bloody mist was left. Roar! Just as Gu Fei's punch destroyed the Tiger Demon's body and soul, a terrifying roar came from the direction of Mount Meru, and an aura so powerful that it could make all living beings tremble swept over. It's her! Gu Fei was shocked. He had killed the Tiger Demon and provoked a peerless expert. At this time, the time limit of the secret ascension technique was about to end, and he knew that he was no match for that person. Swish! Gu Fei's figure disappeared in the void. Taking advantage of the time limit of the secret ascension technique, he directly used the ultimate of the world movement to leave. Chapter 1553. Roar! With a roar, heaven and earth shattered. The person who came was enraged. The Tiger Demon's death in battle was definitely a huge storm. It should be known that the one who died was a half-step saint of the demon race. Gu Fei, I want you to die! Endless demonic aura enveloped the heaven and earth. The Chaos Demon Lord had arrived, but it was already too late. Gu Fei was about to leave after killing the Tiger Demon. All the experts who were watching the battle were frightened and retreated immediately. No one dared to provoke the furious Chaos Demon Lord. The Chaos Demon Lord's expression was extremely ugly. Swish! She directly soared into the sky and rushed towards the ancient city of Yiclan. She knew that Gu Fei was there. The reason why she didn't attack was because she was worried about Ba Tianxin King in the ancient city. It should be known that Ba Tianxin King was the invincible Shin King of the Wildlands. He had beaten the experts of the Beast Emperor Mountain and the Chaos Dragon Cave to the point that they had to retreat when they saw his shadow. Countless years had passed, and no one knew what level Ba Tianxin King's cultivation had reached. But now, the Chaos Demon Lord couldn't care less. Gu Fei had actually killed her half-step saint of the demon race. How could she let this matter go so easily? There's going to be a good show to watch. All the experts were paying attention. The Chaos Demon Lord was peerlessly powerful. He was a demi-saint of the demon race, and his cultivation was only half a step away from that of a demi-saint. However, Ba Tianxin King was also an invincible Shin King of the human race. When these two experts met, a battle was inevitable. This was a battle between demi-saints. Gu Fei didn't know that he had provoked a terrifying enemy for the Yi clan. However, he acted according to his heart, and had no scruples. Even if he knew that killing the tiger demon would completely anger the Chaos Demon Lord, he still killed it without hesitation. Rumble! In the heavenly Buddha path, many living beings saw a golden divine bird flying across the sky. The heaven and earth shook, and the powerful aura caused all living beings to tremble. In the mountains, in the Yi clan's ancient city, in the city lord's mansion, a man suddenly opened his eyes. Two beams of divine light shot out of his eyes, several meters long. At this time, He Tian had reached a critical juncture. He had already evolved the Buddhist sect's great guiding formation countless times, and he began to set it up on the square of the ancient city. Swish! That person immediately rushed out of the city lord's mansion. He Tian could not be disturbed while he was deducing the formation. If all his previous efforts were wasted, then all his previous efforts would be for naught. Rumble! The ancient city was shaken. The higher-ups of the Yi clan were alerted as well. A powerful expert was charging towards the ancient city. The ancient city's formation had been activated. Beams of divine light rushed out of the ancient city, interweaving into a huge net that enveloped the entire ancient city. This was the ancient city's defensive formation. The ancient city of the human race had existed for countless years and was protected by a great saint-level formation. Even if a sage came, he might not be able to break into the ancient city. Gu Fei, come out and meet your death! A furious roar reverberated throughout the mountains, startling the birds and beasts in the mountains, and causing them to flee in panic. A golden divine bird descended above the mountains. The powerful aura of a quasi-sage almost caused the heavens and earth to collapse. The void was shaking, and the earth was trembling. This was the anger of a quasi-sage. Swish! That golden divine bird was about to swoop down, but at this moment, a figure appeared in front of the divine bird and intercepted it. It doesn't matter who comes today, I want Gu Fei's life. The golden divine bird was even bigger than a mountain. This was a shadow condensed from golden demonic energy, not the true body of the divine bird. Amidst the endless golden demonic energy, a graceful figure stood there, her eyes flashing with golden light. Behind her, there was a pair of golden wings flapping. Fight or retreat? The person who came was very straightforward. A shocking battle intent rushed out of his body. The domineering aura of heaven and earth was like 100,000 volcanoes erupting at the same time, causing the world to lose its color. Ba Tianxin King! The peerless demon lord sensed a dangerous aura from the figure, and couldn't help but become serious. She wouldn't let her anger get to her head. At the level of the Chaos Demon Lord, even if she was furious, she would instantly calm down when she encountered an opponent who could truly threaten her. Without any hesitation, and without too many words, the Chaos Demon Lord directly attacked. Boom! A demonic energy wave so powerful that it made one's spiritual soul tremble burst out of her body, and a pair of golden wings spread out behind her. Clang! Like 100,000 heavenly swords vibrating, the golden feathers on the wings of the Chaos Demon Lord all turned into rays of dazzling golden sword light, soaring tens of thousands of feet and piercing towards Batian Shin King in front of her. Each ray of golden light contained the power of the great path cultivated by the Chaos Demon Lord, and within each ray of golden light, there was a demonic mark of the great path faintly visible. This was a divine sword of the great path. Facing the extremely ferocious attack, Batian Shin King just stretched out his right hand and pressed forward. Bang! The void trembled, and a huge palm appeared in front of Batian Shin King. Then, all the golden sword light that pierced towards him was blocked. The huge palm was like an insurmountable mountain, and no matter how many sword light pierced through it, it didn't budge at all. Even the sword light that contained the power of the great path couldn't do anything. What? The Chaos Demon Lord was shocked. The divine ability displayed by Batian Shin King was truly astonishing. The great path didn't appear, but it blocked all the attacks. Thousands of golden feathers danced in the air, and then all flew back towards the Chaos Demon Lord. Batian Shin King really lives up to his reputation. The Chaos Demon Lord was secretly shocked. This was a powerful opponent. Although he had fallen from the demi-saint realm, his understanding of the great path had already reached an unattainable level. Such an existence was only one step away from enlightenment, and then becoming a saint. Stand down. Batian Shin King stood with his hands behind his back. The domineering aura on his body was no longer earth-shaking, and had been restrained. This was a sign that he had returned to his natural state. Humph! The Chaos Demon Lord sneered. Although this human demi-saint was powerful, it wouldn't be easy for him to defeat the Chaos Demon Lord. They were both demi-saints, and it would be very difficult to determine a victor. Golden crows slaughter saints! The Chaos Demon Lord roared, and his entire body emitted millions of golden lights. That golden demonic aura was like a heavenly fire, sweeping out in all directions, and instantly enveloping the entire heaven and earth. Amidst the endless golden demonic aura, a golden bird floated, and emitted a powerful saint-level power. What? At this moment, Batian Shin King was finally moved. The opponent's power had already broken through the shackles of the demi-saint realm, and this was the true power of a saint level. I didn't expect you to be a descendant of the Golden Crow. Batian Shin King was incomparably shocked. The Golden Crow was said to be born from the Sun Star, and was an innate divine bird. When the Golden Crow truly matured, it would at least be in existence of the great saint realm. Unexpectedly, the Chaos Demon Lord actually had the bloodline of the Golden Crow. Chapter 1554. Date: November 16th. Gu Fei killed the Tiger Demon subordinate of the Chaos Demonic Lord. The Chaos Demonic Lord was enraged and charged towards the Yi family's ancient city. He wanted to drag Gu Fei out and tear him to pieces. A demonic half-sage and 3 demonic peak experts were killed by Gu Fei. The entire heavenly Buddhist sect was in an uproar. A 5th heavenly layer expert killed a demonic half-sage. It was a miracle. The enraged Chaos Demonic Lord charged towards the Yi family's ancient city. Shin King, who was guarding the ancient city, had no choice but to take action. At this time, He Tian's plan to approach the Buddhist Grand Array had reached a critical juncture. As long as He Tian successfully set up the Great Receiving Array on Mount Meru, the human race of the wilderness would be able to return to the human race. The tyrant Sky Divine Emperor would never allow the primal Chaos Demon Lord to approach the human race's ancient city. Thousands of miles away from the human ancient city, Shin King intercepted the Chaos Demonic Lord in the sky above the mountain. Unavoidably, Shin King and the Chaos Demonic Lord finally fought. This was a battle between demonic sages. The ancient beasts of the Beast Emperor Mountain and the great demons of the Chaos Dragon Cave appeared. In the distant sky, a mass of Buddhist light floated over. The Buddhist Vedanta on Mount Meru also appeared. Rumble. At this time, the Chaos Demonic Lord used his supreme divine technique. Endless golden demonic energy swept out in all directions and engulfed Shin King in an instant. This was no ordinary demonic energy. It was the solar essence fire. The Chaos Demonic Lord had the bloodline of the primordial divine bird, the golden crow. This was the power of his bloodline. Countless demonic runes appeared in the golden demonic energy. They interweaved into the runes of the heavens and earth, drawing upon the power of the great Tao. He wanted to refine Shin King into the solar essence fire. Clang! The sound of a sword resonated through the 9 heavens. In the endless sea of golden flames, a ray of sword light shot up to the sky. It broke through the layers of flames and slashed out. Shin King made his move. The Overlord's sword was unsheathed. An unstoppable and terrifying sword she slashed out. Countless golden demonic runes shattered under the sword light. With the sword in hand, it could break through all divine techniques. All right. Let's see how long you, Tyrant Shin King, can protect that kid! The murderous voice of the primal Chaos Demon Lord came out from the sea of fire. The endless solar essence flames retreated like the tide. The primal Chaos Demon Lord turned into a beam of flame and disappeared in an instant. No one knew what had happened in the sea of fire. The Chaos Demon Lord had actually retreated just like that. Sky Overlord Shin King stood upright with his sword in hand. The domineering aura on his body had already been withdrawn, but the Overlord's sword in his hand was still emitting a domineering aura that caused people's hearts to palpitate. What's going on? How did the primal Chaos Demon Lord lose so quickly? The experts who were watching the battle from afar were stunned. They wanted to see a fierce battle, but it ended like this. No one had thought that such a scene would happen. Is Batian Shin King going to become a sage? In a ball of Buddhist light on the horizon, a tall monk wearing an old kasaya muttered to himself. In the eyes of such an expert, the primal Chaos Demon Lord had been driven away by Sky Overlord Shin King. Could it be that Sky Overlord Shin King's cultivation was stronger than the primal Chaos Demon Lord? The combat strength that Sky Overlord Shin King had displayed made the experts from all sides fearful. No one dared to look down on the human race. In the end, Sky Overlord Shin King returned to the human race's ancient city. The experts from all sides gradually dispersed. Thousands of miles away, a figure stood on the peak of a mountain. Her white clothes fluttered in the wind. She was a beautiful woman who looked like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Sky Overlord Shin King! The woman in white stretched out her hand. On her jade-like palm, there was a blood stain. Golden blood seeped out from that blood stain. Everyone thought that a battle between quasi-sages would erupt. However, this battle that could shake the world did not happen. Some people were disappointed, while others were glad. The higher-ups of the Yi family heaved a sigh of relief. The invader turned out to be the primal Chaos Demon Lord. He was an invincible existence. If Sky Overlord Shin King had not been in the ancient city, the Yi family would have been in big trouble. When the people of the Yi family found out that it was Gu Fei who had provoked this big enemy, everyone in the Yi family fell silent. Even if they were dissatisfied, no one dared to voice it out. It should be known that this guy was a freak who could even kill demi-sages of the demon race. Gu Fei's cultivation was only at the 5th heaven, but he could kill demi-sages. What kind of concept was this? Even the legendary extreme grade supremes did not have such a bad a record when they were young. This is an existence qualified to aspire to the extreme grade supremes, an old man of the Yi family said. Everyone in the Yi family was shocked. They realized that Gu Fei's potential was absolutely limitless. As long as he could become a sage, perhaps even a great sage would not be able to suppress him. Being invincible in the same realm was not a legend. It was a real thing. What did it mean to be invincible in the same realm? Gu Fei was a good example. The Yi family wanted to befriend Gu Fei. The higher-ups of the Yi family believed that Gu Fei had limitless potential. Befriending such an existence would bring unimaginable benefits to the Yi family. As the protagonist of this incident, Gu Fei returned to the ancient city of the human race before the sky turned dark. He entered the secret chamber that the Yi family had prepared for him. Gu Fei was completely focused on cultivation. He wanted to improve his cultivation base. According to the goal he had set, he wanted to improve his cultivation base by a small realm before leaving the heavenly Buddha path. 3 days later, Gu Fei came out of seclusion again. This time, he looked for Sky Overlord Shen King. Then, a terrifying energy fluctuation came from the depths of a mountain in the heavenly Buddha path. This fluctuation lasted for a short while before disappearing. This fluctuation alarmed many experts. However, by the time they arrived, the place had already turned into ruins. Someone was fighting here, destroying a part of the mountain. Mountains collapsed, rivers dried up, and lakes evaporated. Terrifying scars were left on the ground, and the aura of a Saint Realm expert had yet to dissipate. Experts who sensed this aura couldn't help but turn pale. The experts fighting here were at least half-saint existences. Only half-saint existences could exude the aura of a Saint Realm expert. In the battle with Sky Overlord Shen King, Gu Fei returned with heavy injuries. His injuries were severe, almost losing half of his life. However, this battle was worth it. After returning, he immediately went into seclusion. This guy is crazy. The Pearl of the Yi family, Yu Wu, paid close attention to Gu Fei's every move. Gu Fei's crazy cultivation method made her heart palpitate. This freak, in order to improve his cultivation base, he was willing to throw away his life? One had to know that an existence like Sky Overlord Shen King, even if he didn't want to hurt Gu Fei, once he made a move, it was impossible for Gu Fei to come out unscathed. However, what shocked Yu Wu was that Gu Fei only stayed in the secret chamber for 10 days. Then, he reappeared in front of her, full of vigor, and challenged Sky Overlord Shen King again. Does this guy have a problem with being tortured? Yu Wu couldn't understand. Chapter 1555. Overlord Shen King was peerlessly powerful, and Gu Fei was simply looking for trouble by challenging him. However, Gu Fei challenged Shen King again and again. In the beginning, he lost miserably, and his martial body was severely injured. However, the more he fought, the braver he became. The more he fought, the lighter the injuries on his body. The experts of the Yi clan were incomparably shocked. Although Gu Fei was looking for trouble, his combat strength was gradually increasing. When they realized this, Yu Wuji, Yu Wu, and the others of the younger generation of the Yi clan were extremely envious. However, they did not dare to challenge Overlord Shen King. Only a freak like Gu Fei would dare to challenge a peerless existence like Overlord Shen King. He was using Shen King's hands to train his martial body. In front of Overlord Shen King, Gu Fei could attack as much as he wanted without any scruples. He knew that unless he used his extreme saint weapon, he would not be able to hurt Shen King at all. However, Overlord Shen King would not really kill Gu Fei. Although Gu Fei was severely injured, it was only in his martial body. His life force was incomparably vigorous. Even if someone cut him into 8 pieces, he would still be able to recover. In the next month, Gu Fei and Overlord Shen King fought more than a dozen battles. Gu Fei's martial body became more and more powerful, and the chaotic qi in his body surged like thunder. Every time he punched, every time he kicked, Gu Fei's body would emit a faint sound of thunder. Rumble! On a martial arts field of the Yi clan, 2 figures flashed quickly. Waves of powerful energy spread out and collided with each other, causing the entire martial arts field to shake. This wasn't an ordinary martial arts arena. The entire martial arts arena was branded with saint-level Dao patterns. At this moment, under the impact of the power released by the 2 experts, the entire martial arts arena's Dao patterns lit up. There was a figure shrouded in chaotic qi, and his fists were radiating yin and yang divine light. His fists were transforming yin and yang. An invincible fist intent spread out from the black and white fists. Bang! Gu Fei punched out with a fist of extreme yang energy. Like a surging river, it rushed towards the figure in front of him, shaking the void with a single punch. All right. The man in front also punched out. This punch contained an overbearing aura. This was the Tyrant Fist, pressing forward with indomitable will. In the entire ancient city, there was only one person who could use this kind of punching skill. That person was Tyrant Shen King. Shen King of the heavens cultivated the immortal Tao, but during the battle with Gu Fei, he actually created a type of hegemonic fist. This fist technique didn't have any moves, only fist intent. The hegemonic fist collided with Gu Fei's yin-yang reincarnation fist. When the two forces collided head-on, the invincible fist intent, when released, even Gu Fei would be injured. The hegemonic fist directly collided with Gu Fei's fist of extreme yang, and Gu Fei's fist was immediately deformed. The sound of bones breaking rang out, and sparkling and translucent blood splattered. The immortal Tao divine body of the quasi-saint level was too powerful, and even Gu Fei's martial body was injured. Tyrant Shen King didn't use his full strength, but even though he showed mercy, he still injured Gu Fei. Bang! Gu Fei flew out and hit the wall thousands of meters away. The Tao patterns on the wall surged and completely dissolved the force of the collision. This martial arts field wasn't an open-air one, but an enclosed one with a radius of thousands of meters. Only such a martial arts field could allow Gu Fei to fight freely. What a domineering fist! Gu Fei was shocked. Between breaths, the flesh and bones on his deformed fist surged, and in an instant, it completely recovered. Even the blood that had flowed out flowed back into the wound. "Your life force is too vigorous," said Tyrant Shen King. Gu Fei's martial body had an extremely vigorous life force. This was the person with the strongest life force he had ever met. Gu Fei's qi and blood were comparable to that of the primordial dragon. Only with a strong life force can one not die," said Gu Fei. At this time, his fist once again burst out with dazzling white divine light. Again. Tyrant Divine Emperor frowned. This abnormal guy had already fought with him for half an hour. Could it be that he still wanted to continue fighting? He was really a madman now. Gu Fei's cultivation method was too abnormal. In the past month, he didn't know how many times he had been injured, and all the bones in his body had probably been broken. Fight! Gu Fei was like a god of war descending. His battle intent was still like a rainbow. He took a step forward, and the whole martial arts arena shook. It was like a giant taking a step. Boom! An extremely powerful aura burst out from his body, and a circle of transparent ripples could be seen with the naked eye with him as the center, spreading out in all directions. At the moment when Gu Fei took a step forward, lines of Tao patterns emerged from his body, crawling all over his body. His whole person was like an unsheathed holy sword, incomparably sharp. He slowly pushed his fists forward, and the entire void in front of his fist shook. The power of yin and yang intertwined, and a yin-yang divine diagram appeared in front of him. His right fist emitted a dazzling white light, and his left fist was as black as ink. The yin-yang divine diagram appeared, and Gu Fei's fists were the two Tai Chi eyes on the yin-yang divine diagram. Endless power of yin and yang surged out from the Tai Chi eyes on the yin-yang divine diagram. Such a battle technique had already surpassed the scope of a technique. Seeing Gu Fei use this technique, Batian Shen King's eyes lit up. This was a martial arts battle technique that had been lost for countless years, and he didn't expect someone in the world to still be able to use it. It seemed that this guy had obtained the inheritance of a supreme martial ancestor. Batian Shen King used his finger as a sword and directly pointed forward. A sword ray shot out from the tip of his finger, breaking the void and cutting open the world. No one knew that although Batian Shen King cultivated the immortal Tao, his strongest technique was the immortal sword Tao. With the sword in hand, he could break all techniques and divine abilities. This sword attack of Batian Shen King could not be described as stunning, but it stabbed at the weakness of Gu Fei's fist technique. With just one sword, it broke the point where the power of yin and yang converged, making it difficult for the power of yin and yang to intertwine. Boom! Gu Fei only felt his hands tremble, and his fists involuntarily flew to the sides. The yin-yang divine diagram collapsed, and the center was wide open. Batian Shen King took a step forward and punched Gu Fei's chest, causing Gu Fei to fly back again and hit the wall. Ugh! Gu Fei opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. On his chest there was a fist imprint. The fist imprint had sunk into Gu Fei's chest, shattering his bones and injuring his martial body. Fortunately, it was not a life-and-death battle, otherwise, this punch of Batian Shin King would have destroyed Gu Fei's body and soul. This was the battle strength of a quasi-saint, and it was difficult for Gu Fei to resist. Chapter 1556. One had to admit that Batian Shin King was too powerful. One had to know that the Tao pattern that Gu Fei cultivated was imprinted on his bones. Even with the protection of the Tao pattern, it was still shattered. It was imaginable how powerful Batian Shin King's punch was. Gu Fei took a deep breath and began to retract his battle intent. "I'm done!" Batian Shin King smiled. His punch was enough to shatter a semi-sage weapon. After receiving this punch, Gu Fei's bones and tendons were shaken and his body went limp. It was impossible for him to continue fighting for a while. At the same time, Batian Shin King was secretly shocked. The legendary martial physique was truly worthy of its reputation. Gu Fei's martial physique was the most powerful physique he had ever seen. "I'm done!" Gu Fei's bones and tendons were shaken. How could he continue fighting? He sat cross-legged on the ground and began to circulate his mystic art to heal his injured body. Batian Shin King's last punch was incomparably powerful. The fist mark on his chest couldn't be healed. Batian Shin King didn't say anything. He left the martial arts practice field and went to the ancient city of Guangqing. At this time, the square was filled with a type of divine jade. This divine jade contained fire qi, and the fire qi formed the shadows of phoenixes on the outside of the divine jade. Fire Phoenix Divine Jade! Batian Shin King's knowledge was extraordinary. He could tell the origin of this divine jade at a glance. This was a rare divine material. Legend has it that it was formed by the blood of the divine phoenix. At this time, Tian actually laid countless fire phoenix divine jades on the ground. The entire square was filled with fire qi as though there were many flying phoenixes. Tian was using this peerless divine material to set up the formation. Wow, so many fire phoenix divine jades! Where did he get them? Even Batian Shin King was amazed by Tian's generosity. As for the rest of the Yi clan, they were already dumbfounded. There were thousands of pieces of fire phoenix divine jade on the square. This was definitely a divine treasury, comparable to the entire collection of the Yi clan. This kind of divine treasury was very tempting. However, no one dared to covet these fire phoenix divine jades. Tian's entire body was surrounded by Tao patterns. His entire body was a formation. Countless array patterns rushed out from his hands and entered the fire phoenix divine jade on the ground. Only a divine material like the fire phoenix divine jade could be imprinted with the array patterns of the great guidance array on Mount Meru. Within each piece of fire phoenix divine jade, there were countless Tao patterns faintly visible. The runes on each piece of fire phoenix divine jade resonated with each other, interweaving to form a large array. On the square, lines of runes began to wander. Tian had really laid out the ancient array on Mount Meru. At this time, he was extremely serious, not daring to be careless in the slightest. This person's cultivation in array formations is incredible. This was the Supreme Shin King's evaluation of Tian. This person could actually lay out a quasi-supreme array. This made the Supreme Shin King feel that it was inconceivable. Finally, we can return to the great world. The Supreme Shin King turned around and left. He was very much looking forward to the Yi clan of the Wildlands. They had been trapped in the Wildlands for countless years. The Yi clan's upper echelons were incomparably nervous. At this time, anyone could see that Tian was about to succeed. As long as the great guidance array was successfully laid out, they would be able to return to the great world. However, the final array patterns were too abstruse. Sometimes, Tian couldn't even imprint a single array pattern on the fire phoenix divine jade below after a long time. The Li clan's upper echelons also came. The Yi clan and Li clan had already formed an alliance. With the two clans working together, they could protect themselves even against the Beast Sovereign Mountain or the Chaos Dragon Cave. This person. Li Qingyi stood on a tall building beside the plaza. She stared at the figure floating above the plaza. Her eyes flickered, and no one knew what she was thinking. A genius appeared in the Li clan of the Wildlands, and a pair of geniuses appeared in the Yi clan of the Wildlands. These three people were the rising stars of the human race. At such a young age, they had already cultivated to become supreme existences. However, after meeting Gu Fei and He Tian, Li Qingyi and the others realized that there was always someone above them. Compared to Gu Fei's freakishness, Li Qingyi and the others felt that their talent was not even worth mentioning in front of Gu Fei. Even that He Tian who was together with Gu Fei was someone that Li Qingyi and the others couldn't defeat. On a mountain peak 300 miles away from the ancient human city, a slender figure stood against the wind. Her clothes were whiter than snow, but there was a faint layer of golden light around her body. This was a woman who couldn't be any more beautiful. At this moment, the sky above the ancient human city was a sea of red. There was a faintly discernible fiery bird soaring in the sky. It looked like a fire phoenix and exuded a divine beast aura. What's going on? Why is there a divine beast in the ancient human city? The strange phenomenon that appeared in the ancient human city alarmed many powerhouses. This woman was the Chaos Demon Lord, who had been roaming around the ancient human city. Although Shen King Batian had chased away the Chaos Demon Lord, Gu Fei had killed the #1 expert under the Chaos Demon Lord. The Chaos Demon Lord would definitely not let Gu Fei off. Moreover, Gu Fei had also killed the 3 Black Dragon brothers in addition to the Half-Saint realm. However, Gu Fei didn't show any signs of leaving the ancient human city. The ancient human city was protected by a great sage-level array formation. Even the Chaos Demon Lord, who was at the quasi-sage level, wouldn't dare to barge in. The Chaos Demon Lord hadn't left for a month. The human race is making a big move. Some powerhouses were attracted by the strange phenomenon in the sky above the ancient human city. The faintly discernible fire phoenix in the sky above the ancient human city gradually became clearer as time passed. The aura of the fire phoenix spread in all directions, as if a real fire phoenix had descended from the 9 heavens. 9 days passed, and the aura of the fire phoenix spread out from the ancient human city. It was as if a real divine beast was gradually awakening in the ancient human city. The aura of the divine beast was vast and mighty. Even the ancient beasts of the Beast Emperor Mountain appeared. Some people saw the figure of the savage beast lord appear near the ancient human city. The ancient demons of the Chaos Dragon Cave also came. All the powerhouses were shocked when they saw the fire phoenix in the sky above the ancient human city. There are no fluctuations of life. This isn't the power of a real divine beast. Could it be that someone is using the legendary divine material to do something? It seems that only the legendary Fire Phoenix Divine Jade formed from the Fire Phoenix Divine Blood can contain the Fire Phoenix essence. Some old antiques saw through something, but how many Fire Phoenix Divine Jades were needed to gather such a vast Fire Phoenix essence? There were no absolute secrets in the world. Soon, some powerhouses learned of a piece of news. This news shocked all the forces, and all the powerhouses couldn't sit still anymore. An almighty powerhouse of the human race had set up an array formation in the ancient human city. The array formation was actually the Great Receiving Array of Mount Meru. In other words, once it was successful, the human race would be able to freely enter and exit the heavenly Buddha path. Please share. Chapter 1557. He Tian sets up a formation in the ancient city of Yi family. The Fire Phoenix essence Qi contained within the Fire Phoenix Divine Jade was gradually activated. A huge Fire Phoenix appeared in the sky above the ancient city. Shadow. The entire sky was dyed red, as if there was a fire in the sky. A Fire Phoenix soared in the sea of fire. This type of irregular scene was rarely seen throughout the ages, startling everyone. In the vicinity of the ancient city of the human race, there were more and more experts. Big figures were appearing and disappearing, and all the experts were staring at people. Everything that happened in the ancient human city. But the human race's ancient city was protected by a great saint-level formation. Even if a quasi-sage cultivated the heavenly eye, it would still be difficult to see through it. When they entered the ancient city, no one knew what was going on inside. Something has changed. At this time, in the sky above the ancient human city, the He Tian Hun billions of formation patterns blossomed from his body as he used the formation to communicate with the heavens and the earth. This time, it attracted the power of the great Tao. Swoosh! 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 Hundreds of millions of formation patterns appeared around him. From time to time, formation patterns would be drawn into his hands. Up, and then into the fire phoenix divine jade below. Lines of runes flowed on the ground, and a powerful wave of energy surged out. His aura was vast and mighty. Did he really succeed? At this time, Gu Fei also walked out. Over time, his gains have been enormous. His cultivation has improved. He had already reached the peak of the fifth firmament of the Almighty. It was possible for him to break through to the sixth firmament eminence. The sixth minor realm of Almighty was already within reach. Just one step away. This time, He Tian had put in a lot of effort. He obtained the fire phoenix divine jade from the land of the phoenix perishing dragon in the heaven realm. All of them were taken out. Only this kind of divine material could bear the mark of a quasi-supreme being. The final formation pattern was very abstruse and complex. He Tian Bu they had to be very careful not to make any mistakes. If there was a mistake, the consequences would be dire. On the plaza of the ancient human city, the fire phoenix essence Qi rose. Ting, He Tian used the power of the fire phoenix to replace the Buddhist power. Then, the formation began to operate. Crimson fire Qi condensed in the sky above Guangqing. A fire phoenix soared, born of heaven and earth. It was the aura of an innate divine beast. All beasts within a 10,000-mile radius of the ancient human city. The aura of an innate divine beast made all the beasts tremble. Humans were all terrified, suppressing them innately. Only ferocious beasts and great demons who had cultivated to a certain level could, to resist the pressure of this divine beast. Can we really succeed? More and more experts gathered outside the ancient human city. That's right. Even the Buddhist Vedanta had arrived. Someone saw heavenly monk Dharma's figure. You really overestimate yourself. How can my Buddha's formation be so weak? How could it be so easily stolen? A mighty figure of the Buddhist sect said something like this. The receiving formation on Mount Mi was a great formation. The great Buddha, who had the qualifications to aspire to the position of the extreme Tao supremacy, laid down endless. Throughout the ages, no one had been able to set up a new Buddhist formation that could connect to the outside world and the heavenly Buddha path. The Vedantas of the Buddhist sects are not optimistic about the ancient human cities. The Almighty who had set up the formation. It must be known that this was the Buddhist school of Buddhism. Not even a great virtue could replicate the great gate of guidance. Some people had tried to set up arrays before, but they all failed in the end. However, He Tian was different from ordinary people. He had countless rounds of experience. This time, he was a formation grandmaster, a master of countless generations. His cultivation base was gradually manifesting on his body. Every time he went through a reincarnation, He Tian's cultivation base and strength would be reduced to a minimum. However, He Tian's understanding of the great Tao wouldn't change. Every time he went through a reincarnation, his understanding of the great Tao wouldn't change. Every time he went through a reincarnation, his experience was accumulating. He Tian cultivated a supreme technique that could seize the fortune of the heavens. Heavenly art. Even Gu Fei couldn't see through He Tian, but he could. What was certain was that He Tian had many secrets. He had mastered the incomplete extreme Tao array and could set up a corner of it. An incomplete extreme Tao array. The Buddhist receiving array on Mount Meru was merely a quasi-supreme ancient array, but He Tian's cultivation base had reached a limit. He had spent countless efforts, but in the end, he still managed to set it up. It was set up. Boom! Just as He Tian imprinted the last array pattern, the entire array immediately emitted a bright fire. Light, thousands of pieces of fire phoenix divine jade contained fire phoenix essence energy. light, thousands of pieces of fire phoenix divine jade contained fire phoenix essence energy. A bird's cry resounded through the 9 heavens. Endless fire phoenix essence energy condensed into a fire phoenix. It was as if a real phoenix was being reborn from the fire. It was as if he had been reborn from the fire, and a powerful aura appeared. The fire phoenix soared into the sky and directly broke through the ancient city's seal array. The void shattered. A ball of fire in the ancient city. The fire phoenix soared into the sky and directly broke through the ancient city's seal. The flaming phoenix charged straight into the sky. Rumble! Countless red array patterns interweaved. A spatial passage appeared in front of all the experts. The passageway appeared in front of all the experts. Everyone was stunned. No one thought that this would be the result. The few Buddhist great virtues were even more dumbfounded. They were dumbfounded. It was hard for them to accept such a conclusion. Bureau. How is this possible? Soon, a vast and boundless aura of heaven and earth came out from the spatial passage. This was the power of the outside world. The power of heaven and earth came from the other end of the spatial passage. It came. The true great heaven and earth. That aura of heaven and earth was different from that of the heavenly Buddha Tao. The power of heaven and earth was the law of heaven and earth of the perfect great heaven and earth. The embodiment of it directly suppressed this world. Only the true great heaven and earth had a flawless great Tao. Only the true great heaven and earth had a flawless great Tao. The great Tao of heaven and earth could suppress all man-made heaven and earth. There was no doubt that this was a passage leading to the outside world. Rumble! Outside Mount Meru, a huge mountain was moving. The power of the extreme Tao surged out from the mountain. A blurry beast shadow appeared between heaven and earth. That incomparably huge beast shadow supported the great mountain. It strode in the direction of the ancient city of the human race. Go! In the other direction, a pitch-black chaos cave soared into the sky. Boundless primal essence energy surged and surged, one after another. The great dragon charged out of the cave of chaos, with the power of 10,000 Daos. It was not a real chaos divine dragon, but a mix of chaos dragon chi. Tens of thousands of dragons were soaring. This was unforgettable. The ancient demon in the chaos dragon cave also moved. The passage connecting to the human world had appeared. At this time, no one could sit still. The ancient city of the Li clan emitted billions of divine light. The ancient city rose from the ground, and a great wave of divine light, the fluctuation of a sage, spread in all directions. Those old fogies from the wilderness were the first batch of experts. The spatial passage rushed out from the ancient city of the human race. The section outside the ancient city was no longer protected by the ancient city's array formation. With the protection of the ancient city's array formation, everyone could enter. Enter. This group of old fogies. In the ancient city of the human race, when Gu Fei saw this scene, he couldn't help but shake his head. These guys had been trapped in the wilderness for countless years. Now, the passage to the outside world had appeared. Of course, they couldn't wait to return to the human world. Even He Tian hadn't expected such a situation. At this time, he was already on the verge of collapse. Gu Fei kept it into his inner world. Chapter 1558. Rumble! An ancient human city rushed over from afar. Mighty and mighty, the terrifying undulations of a great sage were so terrifying that the entire world seemed to be engulfed by them. The might of a great sage spread out in all directions. This is... Endless formation patterns were swirling around, a dark mass of ancient buildings. The city blocked half the sky, and everyone retreated. Even a sage-to-be was no exception. The Li clan's ancient city was protected by a great saint-level formation. Even if a sage were to arrive, he would have to retreat. The ancient city quickly shrank, and then rushed into the spatial tunnel. In the Tao, it disappeared in the blink of an eye. All the experts were stunned. However, in the next moment, all the experts were seething with excitement. He stood up. Experts from all sides scrambled to rush into the space tunnel. Everyone wanted to be the first to enter the spatial passageway. Out of the way! A black bear ancient beast slapped its paw forward. The black serpent swatted over, directly shattering this mighty figure's realm. The black serpent was smashed into several pieces, and its blood splattered in the air. It fell like a rain of blood. Buzz! Just as the black bear ancient beast was about to charge forward, a resplendent sword light rushed up from the ancient black bear's divine beast. Come, directly killing the black bear ancient beast into a ball of blood. Fog. A green figure dashed out from behind. A beam of sword light swept through the area, killing the nearby great fae, and ancient the beasts were shocked and hurriedly dodged. Taoist Long, you're going too far! Some ancient beasts couldn't take it anymore and came over from afar. The baleful aura overflowed into the heavens. This was a peak almighty being. However, they did not originate from the Beast Emperor Mountain. Humph! The green-robed Taoist sneered. The man and the sword became one, transforming into a terrifying green sword. The light rushed into the spatial passage. Where are you going? The ancient beast roared and chased after him. He disappeared into the spatial passageway. All the experts scrambled to jump out from the shadows. When they came out, some of the experts even started fighting. The great Yao and ancient beast had fallen in front of the spatial tunnel. At this moment, an even more terrifying sound came from afar. A huge mountain and a mouthful of primal chaos chi. The cave appeared in the distant sky and quickly moved towards the space. The tunnel was closing in. Chaos! The appearance of the spatial tunnel had sent the entire blessed Buddha into chaos. The Tao was in chaos. Mount Ling was a divine mountain in the west earth of the mortal world. Legend has it that the ancient Buddhist Lord once preached the Tao on the summit of the mountain. In the Buddhist palace at the summit, there was still a lecture platform. On this day, the melodious bell rang on Mount Lingshan. From time to time, the sound of chanting came from the void. The setting sun shone on Mount Lingshan, wreathed in mist. It was a fairyland on earth. In this peaceful evening, there is no sign at all. Omen, a mass of red light suddenly appeared in the sky above Spirited Mountain. Clouds, and then, an extremely frightening wave of energy. It descended from the sky. Boom! An enormous sound rang out. The void shattered, and a beast's entire body was curled up. A giant bird surrounded by boundless divine fire rushed out of the shattered void. Then, the giant bird turned into countless scarlet sparks. The red formation pattern was branded into the void. A spatial passageway appeared in front of the Buddhist temples. In front of this, the chanting of scriptures on the Spirited Mountain disappeared. The disciples rushed out and looked at the sky above Spirited Mountain. All the spatial passageways that appeared were dumbfounded. What's going on? What happened? Someone was shouting, but no one knew what had happened. Something had happened. Rays of golden light soared into the sky, and there was a Buddha figure in each ray of golden light. The Spirited Mountain was in chaos. There were 5 Buddhist mighty figures. They soared into the sky and surrounded the exit of the spatial passageway in the sky. The array formation on the Spirited Mountain was also activated. A ball of golden Buddha light soared into the sky. Then, it enveloped the entire Spirited Mountain. It enveloped the entire Spirited Mountain. Roar! At this moment, an angry roar came from the spatial passageway. The entire space in front of the spatial passageway was trembling. A monstrous murderous aura surged out from the spatial passageway. It surged out from the passageway. This is... The 5 Buddhist Vedanta in the mortal world were taken aback. The murderous aura that surged out from the passageway was too strong. If they wanted to condense such a murderous aura, how many would they have to kill? Young living beings? A figure appeared in the spatial passageway. It was the shadow of a beast. A powerful pressure emanated from that beast. It was emitted from the shadow, causing the 5 divine monks to change color. Hurry up and send a signal to inform the Lord Buddha. A white-browed divine monk sent a voice transmission to the Spirited Mountain below. The incoming enemy was extremely powerful. It was probably not something they could deal with. Then, a ray of Buddhist light rushed out from the spirited mountain. It came out and disappeared into the horizon. Then, a ray of Buddhist light rushed out from the spirited mountain. Damn it. It's that bald guy again. It was a silver divine wolf. It was the size of a small mountain. Its entire body was surging with murderous aura. The divine wolf's glabella had a divine eye on it. There was a divine eye on it. Within the divine eye, there was a flash of light. There were Tao patterns intertwining. Which evil creature dares to barge into the spirited mountain? A Buddhist lion roar resounded, and a man with a red-faced divine monk walked up with a staff in his hand. A powerful Buddhist force surged out from the divine monk's body. Out. Roar. The divine wolf pounced out from the spatial passageway. It opened its mouth and tried to swallow the divine monk. A powerful suction force came out from the divine wolf's mouth. Suddenly, the void was pulled into its mouth. Heavenly Buddha hand! The divine monk with the staff in his hand pushed forward with his left palm. With a slap, a golden Buddha hand rushed out from his hand. It went out and enveloped the entire void in front of it. In the middle of the Buddha hand, a 10,000 Buddha seal emerged. The Buddhist force intertwined, and the void was obliterated. Bam! The two forces collided, and the divine monk made a move. The divine monk was sent flying, and the divine wolf was also blocked. Its ferocious might was monstrous. And at this time, there was another powerful aura. It came out from the spatial passageway. This aura, it was not inferior to the divine wolf. In fact, it was even more powerful. It couldn't wait. There's more? The 5 divine monks couldn't help but be moved. Boom! At this moment, a terrifying wave of saint-level power erupted from the spirited mountain. An immortal Buddhist light rushed out from the spirited mountain. It rose into the sky and hit the spatial passageway in the sky. A Buddhist expert was using a Buddhist sacred weapon. He wanted to destroy this spatial passageway. What? The divine wolf silver first stood on end. Come. Swish. The divine wolf instantly turned into a silver light and disappeared. At the entrance of the spatial passageway. Boom! That immortal Buddhist light directly hit the spatial passageway. On the Tao, the entire spatial passageway remained motionless. Around the spatial passageway, streaks of crimson light appeared. The formation patterns interweaved to produce the power of the great Tao. The Buddhist light was blocked. How is this possible? The 5 divine monks in the sky were shocked. Even the Buddhist sacred weapon couldn't destroy this spatial passageway. Was this the attack of a supreme existence that surpassed the saint level? There was no saint in the world. How could there be a supreme existence that surpassed the saint level? A supreme existence that surpassed the saint level? This was impossible. Chapter 1559. Please remember the domain name of this site. Or at Chapter 1567, The Great Tribulation of Buddhism in the Human World. Rumble. At the peak of the spirited mountain. 3 terrifying saint-level fluctuations erupted as if 3 Buddhist saints were awakening. 2 beams of immortal Buddhist light soared into the sky, blasting towards the spatial tunnel in the sky. The foundation of Buddhism in the human world was terrifying. There were at least 3 Buddhist saint weapons on the spirited mountain. Some Buddhist almighty used their Buddhist holy weapons in an attempt to destroy the spatial passage in the sky. However, the result made the hearts of the Buddhist almighties turn cold. The 3 beams of immortal Buddhist light shattered the void and pierced through the heaven and earth. However, they couldn't shake the spatial tunnel in the sky. Crimson formation runes appeared and interweaved into an inextinguishable divine light of the great Tao, blocking the 3 beams of Buddhist light. Boom! 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 3 loud explosions shook the heaven and earth. 3 beams of golden Buddhist light exploded in the sky, illuminating the entire world in a golden color. The power of the saint level spread out, forcing everyone to retreat. Buzz! The void trembled as countless crimson formation runes appeared, scattering the 3 saint level powers. Half of the sky seemed to be burning with heavenly fire. Terrifying fluctuations swept through the entire West Earth, causing millions of lives to tremble. This was an aura that surpassed the saint level. It was vast and boundless. This was the power of a quasi-supreme. Unless a saint weapon of the great Tao was revived, no one could destroy the spatial tunnel in the sky. Roar! With a furious roar, the giant silver wolf soared into the sky and rushed out of the spirited mountain. The Buddhist saints had their own saint weapons. This was a power that could threaten its life. Although the wolf god was powerful, it couldn't contend against a Buddhist saint with a saint weapon. Where do you think you're going? The Buddhist saint with the staff immediately chased after the wolf god. Both of them were extremely fast, disappearing into the horizon in the blink of an eye. The experts who were about to come out of the spatial tunnel sensed the fluctuations of the saint-level power and hesitated. Waves of monstrous baleful aura spread out from the spatial tunnel. On top of the spirit mountain, there were Buddhist experts aiming their holy weapons at the exit of the spatial passageway. As soon as the experts in the spatial passageway appeared, they would unleash their strongest attack, instantly killing them on the spot. All the experts in the spatial passageway sensed danger. Go get the saint soldiers! A voice came from the spatial passageway. Go and invite the seniors from the Chaos Dragon Cave or Beast Emperor Mountain. An ancient demon shouted from within the spatial passageway. On the spiritual mountain, silence reigned. All the Buddhist disciples were stunned by the sudden turn of events. They also have saint weapons. The Buddhist mighty figures on Spirited Mountain were shocked. It seemed like the other party was well prepared. Could it be that someone really wanted to break through Spirited Mountain in one fell swoop? The mortal realm was no longer the mortal realm of the past. During this period of time, the great Tao of the heavens and earth had undergone some changes. The mortal realm welcomed a flourishing age. It was unknown how many geniuses had jumped out. Ever since the return of the forces of the ancient desolate, the human world had begun to change. As for West Earth's Buddhist sect, there was a little monk named Fan Shio. However, Fan Shio had already entered the heaven realm. It was hard to say if he could return or not. It wasn't that West Earth's Buddhist sect didn't have any experts. Buddhist Lord Qinglian was a super expert. Unfortunately, Buddhist Lord Qinglian wasn't on Spirited Mountain. Someone from Buddhist sect had already sent a message to Buddhist Lord Qinglian for help. However, up until now, Buddhist Lord Qinglian still hadn't returned to Spirited Mountain. Without a super expert presiding over Spirited Mountain, there was a real danger of it being breached. Rumble. At this moment, the entire spatial passageway trembled. The ancient beasts and ancient demons in the spatial passageway all fell silent. An extremely terrifying aura spread out from the spatial passageway. A power so powerful that it could cause people to feel despair was crossing over from the spatial passageway. What? The expressions of the four divine monks in the sky changed simultaneously. This power was too vast, even a holy weapon could not withstand it. The divine monk with the monk's staff chased after the divine wolf. The four divine monks all felt uneasy. Swoosh! At the peak of Spirited Mountain, 3 rays of Buddhist light rushed out. 3 old monks rushed out with saint weapons in their hands. One of the old monks seemed to have a ball of Buddhist fire burning in his hand. That ball of Buddhist light emitted a saint-tier fluctuation. Another old monk held a devil-subduing Vajra in his hand. Buddhist runes of the great Tao could be faintly seen on the Vajra. This was a saint weapon. The last old monk had a bronze Buddhist bell floating above his head. The faint sound of the bell could be heard in the void, causing one's soul to tremble. These were the 3 great Buddhist elders of Spirited Mountain. Their cultivation base had already reached the peak of Almighty. The 3 great Buddhist elders and the saint weapons in their hands were the foundation of Buddhism in the mortal world. Peak Almighty wielded Buddhist saint weapons. With such combat power, they could even fight against demi-saints. In the mortal world, such power was already invincible. This was also why West Earth's Buddhist sect could intimidate the mortal world. No one dared to have any ideas about Buddhism in the mortal world. The foundation of Buddhism in the mortal world had been revealed. However, the expressions of the three great Buddhist elders with the saint weapons were very solemn. They stared at the exit of the spatial passage in the sky, and the Buddhist power in their bodies was vast. At this time, the mountain protecting grand formation on Spirited Mountain had been completely activated. However, this was only a saint mountain protecting grand formation. The power that came from the spatial passage was too powerful. Rumble! The entire Spirited Mountain shook. Countless golden runes appeared in the void. The entire Spirited Mountain was covered with runes, condensing the power of Saint Tyr. Everyone stared nervously at the exit of the spatial passage in the sky. A huge black shadow appeared in the spatial passage. Endless divine light lingered around it. It was a pitch-black ancient city that exuded an endless ancient aura. What? Everyone was dumbfounded. No one would have thought that an ancient city would come through the void. This was too extravagant. Could it be that someone wanted to occupy West Earth's Buddhist nation? A dark and huge city appeared in front of everyone. This scene was too shocking. This was an ancient city that was even bigger than a mountain. It almost blocked the entire spatial passage. There weren't many ancient cities like this even in the mortal world. After all, not all cities could survive for countless years without being destroyed by time. Only special ancient cities could exist forever in the mortal world. A powerful aura of life was emitted from the ancient city. This was an ancient city with a huge population. It was an ancient city of the human race that had been moved here. This kind of extravagance was enough to shock the world. The ancient city of the human race entered the mortal world through the spatial passage. There was no power that could stop it unless someone used an extreme Tao sacred weapon. However, not everyone could have an extreme Tao sacred weapon. At the very least, Buddhism in the mortal world didn't have the eternal Buddha weapon left behind by the eternal Buddha Lord. Buddhism in the mortal world only had 3 Buddhist sacred weapons, which were regarded as the foundation of Buddhism in the mortal world. The arrival of the ancient city made all the disciples of Buddhism feel that Buddhism was about to face its greatest crisis. Even the invasion of the Devil Lord wasn't as dangerous as today. Rumble! The ancient city emitted a divine light that enveloped the entire heaven and earth. This was a divine city that was even bigger than a spiritual mountain. At this time, it was covered by countless formation runes. A powerful aura that belonged to the 9 heavens and 10 earths spread out from the ancient city. Not only did it spread through all of West Earth's Buddhist sect, all the living beings in West Earth could sense it. At this moment, it was unknown how many old antiques in the mortal world were alarmed. Swish! In a world filled with ghostly energy, a figure sitting cross-legged in a black palace suddenly opened his eyes. This was a pair of divine eyes that seemed to be able to ignore the barriers of space and see the ancient city on top of the spiritual mountain in the West Earth. In the depths of a devil cave in the devil territory, a terrifying devil howl came from there. A yin-yang Dao diagram floated in the devil energy and a majestic figure sat on top of it. Are there more ancient powers that are returning? The yin-yang Dao diagram shrouded the entire devil cave. Endless yin-yang essence energy poured down, firmly suppressing the devil cave. This person suppressed the devil cave with his own strength. Such cultivation and strength were absolutely heaven-defying. This person was the peerless expert that came out from the yin-yang jade pendant. At the same time, on an island in the depths of the northern divine sea, a devilish figure looked towards the west. A terrifying devil might shook the 9 heavens and 10 earths. The peak existences of the mortal world were paying attention to all of this. The appearance of a great saint shocked everyone. This was a power that shouldn't exist in the mortal world because there were no saints in the mortal world, let alone a great saint. It's those big baldies again! These words came from the ancient human city. This ancient human city was the ancestral city of the Li clan in the wildlands. Returning to the mortal world was the Li clan's top priority. The aura of the perfect world excited the higher-ups of the Li family to the extreme. But as soon as they came out of the heavenly Buddha path, they saw people from the Buddhist gate. This made the higher-ups of the Li family unhappy. One had to know that it was the ancient Buddhist lord who trapped the Li family's ancestor in the desolate. This place is not bad. An old voice came from the ancient city. Drive these big monks away, this place is ours! The voice of the Li family patriarch resounded in the ancient city. The entire ancient city directly pressed down on the spiritual mountain from the sky. The mighty power of a great saint came down, shaking the entire spiritual mountain. The saint-level mountain defense grand array could not withstand the power of a great saint. Although the ancient city defense grand array did not have the ability to attack, the power of the great saint gathered in the grand array was a real great saint. No! The 3 great Buddhist elders and the 4 great divine monks were shocked. The heritage of Buddhism in the mortal world was enough to shake the world, but it was still difficult to resist the power of a great saint. The entire spiritual mountain was cracking. The power of a great saint coming down from the sky was enough to destroy everything. Countless Buddhist disciples on the spiritual mountain were in despair. In the face of this power, they were not even the weakest of ants. This was a great calamity for Buddhism in the mortal world.